Ride that wave. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That in the navy blue is your girl, Adara. And I don't know what the color this is. What is this, mauve?
It's purple.
Purple,
it's lavender,
violet.
but mauve sounds nicer, so we'll say mauve.
That's perfect. We'll wait for everyone to migrate on over from the morning stream. We already have some of the OGs. Yes, Scott, HICU, the Pawns, the Fawns, Anurag, Black Sheep Trades, Mr. Lisa, okay, Michael Lloyd. Haven't seen you in a minute, Mr. Michael Lloyd. Good to have you back, my man. Dude rocks. A proper paradox. We got Ronaldo, DP Kane, Noah Fiddlebeck is joining us as well, and the Piper Take. Prophet Monty, I love that name, man. Who does not like that? Ken Wicken, Charlie Taft, Jay Lowe, Easy Trader, and Drew Chow and Berto B as well. Even Adara is in the chat, and Atif Tibet as well. Aaron and Joera Brewster, and the one. Is that like a playoff Obi's name? I don't know if I'm okay with that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome welcome to How to Trade. And yeah, thanks for joining Adara and I. That's Adara right there.
Hi,
over here.
Adara. We both have like the kind of blue purples. I think we like color complement each other nicely.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I'm okay.
I'm okay with that. All right, guys. Anything you wanna? Yeah, well, I know you wanna comment. So tell them all about it.
I do. So I sit down here, and I'm like, just had like some things dealt with the vote. Come back, sit down. I'm like, let's get back into trading mode. So I see this 248, and I said to Sharif, I'm like, I feel like I'm copying Obi style over here, but I really want to short this Tesla. We've leaped below the 90 EMA in a way that is just majestic. It's like a horse clip clopping into the sunset. I want all of the smoke, Sharif.
Oh, I know.
Exactly all of it. So I get down. I'm ready to short it 248.20s. I can't get my 248.20s. I'm like, you know what? I'll get a little chasey with, this isn't even that chasey, I took 248.10s. Took it with more size than I would normally, not like massive, but I was confident in it, and I was gonna risk basically if I saw the 248.30 level I'd written down, so we got like distinctly into that 248.50 I was gonna get out. Took about 70 pennies with this, with size that was, I could live with, so pleased as punch with this Tesla trade. Also, I liked where I got out because the book was kind of slowing and bouncing a little bit there at 40s, so exactly 70 pennies. But also, look at that previous area of resistance.
Wow.
So it was really, I don't want to cop someone's style again, but confluencing here with where we had that slowdown in the book and where also we had that resistance area earlier. So happy there with that TSLA. Don't have much, actually I was going to say don't ever read anything else, but there is one name that I mentioned to Sharif first and foremost when I sat down, and it's Alphabet. So ABCs are telling me that it'd be easy as 1, 2, 3 to short this range, but now, or long the range. But now, however, I am seeing maybe a change in the range, a range change. We went from 186 to 185 to 186, sorry, to 185.50 to 186.50. I'm seeing the range. I still think it's a range, but it's a range that's maybe escalating a little bit. So we're gonna have to wait and see what we do here. Apple also kind of looking a bit like a short to me, but I'm not the Apple whisperer. That would be the man to my right. What are you looking at?
I'm keeping an eye on Apple at these levels because it's having issues with 232. There's no question about that. So we'll keep eyes on this one. Guys, chart 232. This is the area that I thought he was messing with me. 232 is the level that I liked. I want to see a little bit more here. If it starts, making lower highs off this level, definitely be interested to get short. However, I'm also keeping an eye on this 231.50. We do have a lot of interaction with that level earlier on as a level of resistance. So if we do come down to it, and it's also the 10 exponential on the 5, I want to see how it interacts with that $231.50. So topping tail candles right now on the 5, which gives an indication that this short may be coming in. I don't want to step in front of this because it's up to almost 2%, 1.9. Again, going to wait, not going to short at this level, not going to go long at this level. I want to see how 232 resolves, but very interested in a retracement trade at that 231.5 if it is to come in. We'll talk more about some of the Mag 7 names as well as the umpteen amount of small cap gappers that I have on the side chart. I got 8 in all today, and I just take a quick look at them here. It looks like 6 of the 8 are still in play as breakout trades. So a lot going on today. Definitely doesn't feel like a Friday, I'll tell you that. But yeah, it doesn't really, especially with the banks initiating all the earnings and the ridiculously red day that we had today, and then we bounced back a little bit. So quite excited to be here today, but I'm also excited to start the lesson du jour and to end our week on Elliott Wave theory. I know it's highly theoretical, but it is important that we understand this kind of stuff because trust me, once you see it over and over and over again, then that's what you're going to do if you're going to stare at charts all your life, or for a lot of part of your life. You'll appreciate this stuff. So Elliott Wave theory identifies, as we've learned, two distinct groups. I put it exactly how you want it. I mean, I don't know what else to do, bro. I put it up facing that way, you know, even the antenna is facing you guys. I don't know what else to do, bro. I'm just joking. I'm complaining to Ram. Elliott Wave theory, guys, identifies two distinct type of waves. We talked about this, the impulse waves, which go with the trend, and the corrective waves, or the consolidative retracement waves that go against the trend. 1, 3, and 5 are impulsive. Those go with the trend. Waves 2 and 4 go against the trend. They are corrective waves. Today, we'll explore the three main types of corrective waves. They go by zigzags, flats, and triangles. And not the zigzags you're thinking of, Ram. Understanding these patterns equip you to better interpret the market corrections and potential trading opportunities. So we've been talking about basically all week about the trending waves, the impulse waves. Today, for the first time, we'll get into the corrective waves, the retracement waves. So let's get right to it. So the three amigos, as we said, right? There's three types of corrective waves: zigzags, flats, and triangles. Let's start with the zigzag. So imagine a sharp three wave, like kind of an ABC retracement against the trend, right? Zigzags are the most common type of corrective pattern. They're characterized by, number one, their sharp price movement. Expect strong price swings in both directions, to the AB, then to the B and C within that corrective wave. And I'll show you exactly what I mean in a second here with an infographic. And they're also characterized by their impulse-like structure. Each subwave of A, B, and C within the zigzag can sometimes even resemble a miniature impulse wave, almost like a mini trend within the correction. And again, I'll show you what I mean in a second. And they're also characterized by their time frame. Zigzags can appear essentially on any time frame, from either the short-term 5-minute or the long-term 4-hour daily, right? And here's what I mean by a zigzag pattern. So it's up, down, up, right? And then it works both ways. So there's a bullish version and the bearish version. Very simple, very easy to understand, but it gets a bit more nuanced. And so, like I said, the impulse-like structure makes these subwaves within the larger waves. So you can see over here, if you want to say this is wave A in the blue, within one wave, ensconced within that is 3 or 4 other waves. So that's what I mean by sub-trends within the trend. So you're not going to get that clean move up or clean move down on that zigzag. What you'll get is a larger move up, and within that larger move, there'll be more zigzags. And that's kind of what I want to show you about this pattern right here. And it works, again, in the bear market as well as the bull market. Big Kyle, I love this. Big Spile Burnett, 199 super chat. Flats or drums, I am all in on wings today. We will be soon as well, my friend, because are we getting wings? Are we getting pizza? We're getting wings, but as long as they're not spicy, I am very down to participate. That's it. So Big Spile, we'll be participating with you in said wing consumption later. All right, so flats. Oh, Fabian, maybe we should do a drumsticks or flat poll, since we're talking about this kind of thing over here. What's the difference? Or drumsticks and flats? Yeah. Ouch. Adira? Like, I know what a drumstick is. What's a flat? It's like the wing, the other one. So the thin one. Oh, okay, I know what that. Yeah, okay, I didn't know they were called. Yeah, they're called flats. Yeah. Right? No, just teasing here, man. Come on. Right? All right. All right, so flats. Now let's talk about the flat patterns, okay? So flats, these are the sideways consolidation. They're not zigging and zagging like the first type of wave. So think of a sideways movement with limited price action, right? Flats are corrective patterns with a choppy ABC structure where, number one, the price is quite limited, right? So where A moves in one direction, wave B retraces some of wave A, and then wave C completes the pattern. And again, I'll show you in a second what this looks like, right? And it's also the time versus price comparison here awfully important. Flats can take longer to unfold compared to zigzags with much less dramatic price movements. And identification of these can be a little bit tricky. So they are a little bit bamboozling. Flats can be trickier to identify as compared to zigzags. But specifically here, you're looking for horizontal or slightly angled price channel for potential flat patterns. So here's what I mean. There are three different types of flats. You have your regular, like this is what I mean, A, B, and then C kind of retraces back into A. But sometimes you have, a little bit of an outlier or an irregular or expanded one where wave B kind of supersedes wave A. And then the other one over here is where wave C doesn't come all the way back down into wave A. So you're not going to get that perfectly clean, where A and B are equidistant or A and C are equidistant. No, sadly, trading does not work that way, but they will resemble something akin to this. And again, flat variations, they're not just one straight wave that goes up. Sadly, there are more waves ensconced with one wave. So if we were just talking about the flats having an A, B, C type pattern, within that A wave, within that B wave are going to be several A, B, C subwaves, okay? So you need to think about that. You're not going to get that clean directional move, uninterrupted green candles or uninterrupted red candles. There's going to be more price action within that. They're going to be kind of these sub waves, okay? Triangles, the last of the correction patterns. We can call these converging or diverging triangles. Both are accurate here. So in this case, you're imagining the price getting squeezed within a converging or diverging trend line channel. Triangles are corrective patterns with a 5-wave A, B, C, D, E structure characterized by, one, the converging triangle. And we've seen this before in the past. We've talked about this type of pattern called compression patterns. These triangle patterns can be ascending, where the price makes higher lows, or they can be descending, where the price makes lower highs. In both cases, though, the trend lines define the triangle converge. The trend lines defining the triangle converge as the pattern progresses, indicating a potential breakout. But diverging channels or diverging triangles are equally relevant in this case, but they are much less common. Diverging triangles have trend lines that move in the opposite direction, so kind of like a megaphone or a speakerphone, either upward or downward. Both are relevant, and it's suggesting to you in this particular instance a potential continuation of the dominant trend. We've talked about this umpteen amount of times. Higher lows or lower highs, when they're compressing, they resolve typically in the direction of the trend. So it behooves you to look at the trend preceding the compression pattern. You need to know what we were doing before this formation over here, okay? And last but not least is the breakout out of the triangle. So triangles often resolve with a breakout in the direction of the dominant trend, whether up or down, once the price touches or breaks the trend line. And remember, guys, these are simplified descriptions that I'm giving you here. Real world patterns can exhibit many different variations. Use other technical indicators to confirm these corrective wave patterns. And here is what a converging triangle looks like. You have an A, B, C, D, E. That's kind of what I was talking about. You start over here, obviously, and then there is a breakout in the direction of the trend. So I think that that's why they included these dotted lines over here to show you that the trend preceding the compression pattern was up. Conversely, the trend preceding the breakdown over here in the bear market was down. So again, it's resolving in the direction of the trend. And as you can see, each wave has many subwaves included within it. So you really need to be cognizant of that when trying to view these type of patterns on IRL on an actual chart, okay? So mastering corrective waves, obviously, by understanding zigzags, by understanding these flats and triangles, you can certainly gain valuable insights into potential price consolidation zones that occur within a trend. This knowledge can certainly help you refine your entry and exit strategies for a more comprehensive trading approach. Sharif. It's been all week. I haven't done that.
Yeah, no.
So, you know.
Because Sharif will throw to me using the most interesting voice, and he always like makes my name sound cool like Canara, and I can't really do it, but Sharif. But yeah, Trenda, who I'm scared for her too. Okay, so, but no, thank you for that lesson there, Sharif. Yeah, it's interesting, like, again, how you think about, like, what you said with regards to that, the triangles, right, when you have the convergence and divergence. Like, it's interesting, too, to think about how a lot of the other things we've learned throughout with trading have so many applications to other aspects, right? Like, a lot of the stuff that we talked about weeks back you can use with these Elliott waves, like fibs, etc. So I thought that was a really cool look. I picked flats. Because flats are good. Once I knew what they were, I liked them better. I do like the flats better. But also, Tesla, I did give up some of the gains. And I've said this is a repeated issue with me. I'll have a trade that goes well, then I'll try something else on, and it doesn't go as well. So unfortunately, my second attempt at the Tesla short, which I stand by in theory, I tried to take it short here because we looked like we're breaking below that level. We had a nice little topping tail candle. I wanted all the smoke. Ended up adding to the position. Once we broke decisively back into that 248 plus area, I got out. But definitely, it happened. I wish I had managed it better. Wish I hadn't added. But then I actually had some successful trades after that. So I took a long year off that 249s into that 249.20s. Again, another book scalp. Then I book scalped it again. That 249 breakdown. Really should have gotten back involved here. If we come back and retest that 248.30s, that was the area I really liked. But you know what, Tesla, if you're only going to give me 248s for that retest, I'll do that as well. 248.30 was a level I liked yesterday that I had written down. Came in, saw it come in today, was like, yes. And then Tesla's like, okay, but Adara, as you've been talking, I've been giving the move. And I was like, I understand, Tesla. I understand. Last time we got here, we bounced off 247.40. That still got me chopped up in my second short attempt. So I do want to be very cognizant of that level if that comes back in. Tesla, there have been certain ranges in the book. That's what I was playing with that initial short. Like, it'll give you kind of bouncing levels before it picks a lane, before it picks the lane, before it picks the direction. So I want to be aware of that. But also, if there's any tickers you are aware of, whatever that ticker may be, you go in the chat and you vote. Exclamation point, join, space, $, TSLA, AMD, AMC, GME, tickers, whatever one you want, go in there, get involved. Let's also, META was interesting. This is not one I trade much. I always shout out Sharif because Sharif is so good at like dealing with the meta spread. Oof. But META is a ticker you can vote for, but it's also one of the few Mag 7s that's notably down in the day. Did not see any news on this, so I guess they just ran out of Zuck on this one because they are pushing lower. A level I thought was kind of interesting earlier was this 502. We had kind of a pre-market bounce, a little bit of a pre-market rejection, rejected again. We're above it now, but these topping tail candles, I don't know if I want to trade meta because the spreada, but if I were to trade meta, it would be the short here. I know we are curling here. I know we're by the 90 MA, but this is such, to me, a pivotal area that this could be an interesting look for a short. Also, another stock I had lots of levels on that I don't. Let's see if they're still holding up. JPM, JPM. This is JP Morgan. They did not shine bright like a Jamie Dimon today, though, in their earnings. Shout out to Rihanna. Look at this base here at 202.50. That sets you up for a false flat bottom break here. We have these lower highs and this flat bottom 202.50, and JPM is like, nah, I don't care. However, this level we're coming into this 206.50, I actually had written down because that was a huge area of support earlier. Then we tested it and fell below. So you know what, JPM, you go on the side chart. Step aside AMD. I tend to, but AMD's in a range. Okay, step aside SockSell. JPM gets a spot there because I want to see if there's any way we can bank on those JP Morgan earnings, pun very deeply intended. NVIDIA, Sean?
The Katina Man is still short NVIDIA, by the way, for anybody who's following along with the Katina Man's trade from the morning. He's wetting his beak on the shorts right now on NVIDIA. What's your entry price, Katina Man? 130.98. The Katina Man is short NVDA. There's clearly a lot of resistance at 131. It's been consolidating there for some time. All right, so I did what I said I was going to do. I went long the dead one at the $0.50, and we just wet our beak on 20 pennies right there. So that's the look with AAPL already forming this this red hammer candle. The reason I like the $0.50 was pretty simple. This area of, I don't want to call it consolidation, this area top from 9.55 till we gave up the ghost at 10.10. Nice, go dead one. All right, so we're 30 pennies in the money now. I think I'm going to cover in the low 90s if we are able to weasel our way up there. Here comes 90, and that's the end of the trade. Very happy. Just got 94s on that. So that's a 40 penny winner super quick on the dead one. The reason I just wanted to do that again, kind of digress there a little bit. This is the area top in the pre. We had an awful lot of resistance, 3 candles all rejected off this $half area until we retraced down into a previous level of resistance. That happens to be 230 1/3, and that was the, well, not the IB high, but the 930 top. So we ended up holding that previous area of resistance as support, showing you its inclination to do that stair step thing where it incrementally glows. Maybe it is a glow up. Goes up, and then when it retraces, it stops at that previous step or that previous area of resistance, and it did it again here, and it did it again right there. So I'm happy with this trade, but it is still encountering trouble with 232, and you can see that it's been doing that same thing since 10:50. So that's going on half an hour now of trouble with 232 on AAPL, up 1.95. Who can complain about that? So right above 232 we go again, and you know it's going to be a little bit of a zig, a little bit of zag. We're going to have to see, can Apple get above resistance level 1 on pivots, because it's finding resistance there right now. Again, you know, we use these pivot points incrementally. When they are being respected by an instrument on the day, I'm more inclined to use them. When they're not, I won't. And I've been saying that really with moving averages, with other things as well. If there's no respect by the instrument on the day for what you're viewing, do not use it. It's likely not in play on the day. I love Adara's analysis there of goggles on the day. It's very range bound. The ranges, as she mentioned, are changing at times, so it behooves you to see where it's ranging at any one point, but there are general areas. This 186.50 seems to be one that keeps coming in on the day. This other one, 185, also keeps coming in on the day, but now when we look at the more recent range, it's finding support for whatever reason at 185.5. So what we know by virtue of that higher low is, yeah, it's exactly that higher low. So you need to be careful with that, because if we resolve higher in that 186.50, we could get a flat top break when you don't expect it, when you're trying to play the range. So keep that in mind. The range increasing a little bit right now on goggles. Apple decidedly above 232, still below the high a day at 40, but in the high to mid-teens. All right, let's get to the small cap gappers du jour, baby, because as I sort of prefaced earlier on, there is plenty in that field moving on the day. IVP chief among them, 83% green on the day, about 22.25 million shares traded so far, with a gnarly market cap of 9.75 million, and I say that tongue-in-cheek because that's very small. The short float, let's start with the float. Sub 1 million, 914,000 shares. That's very small, and that could equal lots of volatility on the name. That's why we talk about the float, okay? Let's find out what the short float is, if any. The NVIDIA's tanking? The Katina man's $1 in the money on NVIDIA, so make sure you're on more Trader TV to see where he's getting in and getting out, baby, because he's killing it on that. IVP, though, has 12 2/3% of that 914,000 share float short, larger, especially with a shorter float. A smaller float, I should say, a larger short float can make it even more parabolic. So IVP definitely in play today. Shout out to Tisha. Tisha had her eyes on this one right from the get-go. I sat down at the big desk at 8:30. Tisha already had her eyes on IVP. She wants all the smoke from these small cap gappers, and I second that sentiment. Now, what's the price action like? It's not really respecting any moving averages on the 1. Let's flip to the 5. Let's see what the look is on the 5. Okay, a bit of a better look here. There's a love affair here between the 10 exponential moving average and the 5-minute on the 5-minute chart and this instrument. It's trying to weasel its way up now to $11, and we know for certain $11 has been a level of resistance. Every single closing print south of 11, despite the fact that we have multiple wicks through that $11 area. I personally would want a retracement off the 10 or some other level of support before getting in. It's above 11 now. Let's see if it resolves this candle on a closing basis. I think we just opened up this candle. Yeah, because we just opened up, we're 11:25. So this candle just opened up. Here we go. It's 11 and a quarter now is at 11 1/3. 11 2/3 is the high a day. This one is really going above 100% now. Keep your eye on this one. A lot of smoke coming in on IVP. There's other ones. LL Cool J, baby, is up on the the day, 37% here, Dara. It's doing the dance with no pants with $1 right now, and it seems like it's resolving above $1. Obviously, there's resistance. We know that there's a trade to be had between that, coming from south of $1 going to above $1, and usually it zigs and zags a little bit. This one is doing just that, but for now it's using $1 as support because it's not breaking below it. So keep your eye on LL. Lucid, wow, Lucid. Didn't see this one coming, I gotta tell you the truth. Yesterday we talked about Lucid on the midday show because it was moving big boy, and today it moved even more big boy. This is a headline coming as a result of having, cash from the Saudi Public Investment Fund, and basically they're gonna backstop this company, so it doesn't look like they're gonna run out of money. Investors like that. It's up 20%, 19.4. It's at VWAP right now. So VWAP and $4 basically at the same level. So this is a key level for Lucid, this $4 area. Keep in mind though, we've been making lower highs for an hour. 1025 was a high of day, and each successive low has been lower than its predecessor, so lower highs incoming. OKLO, O-K-L-O, big boy move. 16 and a third right now. It's not doing a whole lot in volume, but what it lacks in volume, it makes up for in direction. Oh, baby. This one has been above the 10 exponential on the 5 the entire time. This after 10 o'clock. I got excited. But yeah, no, seriously though, this one has every single retracement to the 10 exponential on the 5 has been bought up on OKLO, and it behooves me to tell you a little bit about this name. It's done, bless you, Ram. 3 million shares on the day. It's big. It's about $1 billion market cap, so it's not a small cap gapper. And the float on it is a bit large, 83 million shares. Let's find out what the short float, if any, is. OKLO. Dece, 8%. That's not bad. So a decent amount short float there that we could use, possibly to squeeze out some shorts. But OKLO, another one to keep your eye on. And I know I'm going on here, but I'm sorry, but I just want to cover them. As I said, there's a lot. EVGO. So this one up another 16 1/3% after being up nicely yesterday. Again, it's respecting the volume weighted average price here. It seems to be holding at this level, but coming off highs. Definitely had issues with $4, 403 HOD, but it's not giving up the ghost right now. It's still looking to weasel its way into 4. QuantumScape, second day play. Big boy move yesterday. Look at that bump up with that headline that they've had with Volkswagen, switching the joint venture into a licensing agreement. Same issue though that we had yesterday on QuantumScape. $8 is a bit of a wall. The only good news about today versus yesterday is we have a higher low. We still have that flat top at $8, despite the fact that we moved up a little bit above $8 to 805 today on QuantumScape, holding the volume weighted average price. That to me means there's interest on this name. It's not retracing south of VWAP, and nor did it yesterday. Zigged and zagged a little bit, but it did end up closing at the volume weighted average price. And last but not least, NISN. This one has broken down now south of the volume weighted average price. It seems to be ranging here between the 20 exponential on the 5 and VWAP Adara.
Yeah, this is really interesting here on Tesla. So I was looking for, we did have these kind of lower highs here. We had the flat bottom. I have been waxing poetic here for like a while now about this flat bottom for Tesla on this 247. Maybe I got too attached to this idea because I think if we do break below this, it's going to be wild. Basically, though, I think I've not been playing it correctly. I'm going to be really honest. The way I did this the first time, just scalping it into that level as a short was better. Took it with less size this time. Tried to get another crack at the 248 break, especially because we couldn't even make 249s that time. But that's really how I should be scalping it. Like instead of wanting something to happen, trade what you're actually seeing happening. But that's what I did on JPM, so I can't be too upset. I'm really proud of this JPM trade over here. That's what I've been doing here with JPM. I realize we're actually going to get ready to add some more.
Hey.
Why not? So what I've been doing at JPM is one of my favorite kind of strategies to play. We're going to do not decent size. What I've been doing, so I got involved initially, like I said, I wanted 50s. I realized we weren't going to get 50s. I said Dara planned to add into it. So I got involved initially 24s, was going to add at 39s and 48s. I never got either of those prices. I realized we keep getting to 206 and then bouncing. So I said to Dara, why are you not just taking out some profit at 206 every time it comes there? So that's what I did. I believe, have I already had a couple peak winners of this? Yes, I have. We've already taken some profit here a couple times now, so I'm cool with that. Every time we get to that level, I take some out, then keep going. I'm aware that this could just be a bounce for us to push higher. If we get decisively above this this 206.50, I don't want to say wall, maybe ceiling. I could say wall. It's not like I have an issue with saying wall. I'm just trying to make it make sense for myself. Then I'll be getting out. But basically, I'm going to continue to take pieces out because for some reason, we are really struggling here with that 206.30 area. So I'm going to keep taking pieces out as we get to 206.01s. I sound like Javert in that the Les Mis 246.01, but instead it's 206.01s for JPM. If you want to break precisely below, I don't mind. Yeah, it would be distinctly different here if we break below. But also, Strafe, I don't mind if we range because I like ranges.
I know.
And I'm willing to play that range. I wasn't trying to sound so aggressive. I'm just really excited about this trade. Tesla, yeah, Tesla's doing, I think, that 90 MA bounce. Again, a little bit disappointed about that. Tesla pointed about that last trade I had on it, but I can't be too upset because one of the biggest things you want to do is not avoid trades because you want profit, because then you're going to miss out on other profit-taking opportunities.
Bang.
Like it's a catch-22. You can't get so attached to your P&L, which is why I hid mine, right? I'm only speaking like metaphorically because I know I did lose in the last trade. But right now, I still, you know what? Why am I not playing Tesla as a range? Speaking of ranges, Tesla's kind of a range. 247, 249. Adara, this is what you need to be doing. Don't worry, JPM, I'm still looking at you. But JPM is a lot more chill. Tesla's a little more excited. So I'm going to be trading it as a range, and we're going to get involved here. We're just going to get involved just right above this 249s. If I see anything, again, distinctly different here, if we pop nicely into that 250s, I'm going to give this one more room to run because I think it's Tesla and I have to. So we're going to be getting some out at 248s, just above that 248 area. And then we're going to be continuing to add and subtract. That's how I'm going to play this. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it for now. But again, as always, if I see things I don't trust or don't like, I'll be getting out. I don't mind risking about $1 because I'm trying to make maximum 2 and then build it in and out of the position. Gaurav saying, I had the same short on you as Tesla, coincidentally got stopped out. Yeah, I feel you, Gaurav. Same story there. Much appreciated. Qs could be losing their grip here, says Matthew Booth. I mean, I just typed in NQQQ, so apparently I married the TQs and the NQ and the Qs in my brain. So let's get those. Also, that NVIDIA short looks nice. Shout out to Sean. I'm like, once I'm done with Tesla, I might have to keep an eye on that. But these Qs here, oh, I see what you mean. Qs are also rangy. That is the first one of the day. Look at this bottom. Look at this top. Look at this bottom. Look at this top. I'm going to definitely have to keep my eye on Tesla right now so I don't get rinsed. But once I'm done there, Qs, I got you on watch NVIDIA. I have you on watch and JPM. Don't worry. I'm still looking at you, but you're being very chill. So I'm going to let you hopefully shine bright like a Jamie Dimon while I deal with my other trades here. Any news from Fed, says Sassalan. I'm not seeing anyone on the docket for the day. That doesn't mean they won't surprise us, but I'm not seeing anything on the docket.
Yeah, you're bang on with that. I've got the news blotter up here in case anything comes vis-a-vis, general market stuff. We'll obviously report that to you. All right, 1320 Wolf asks, and 1320 Wolf receives. Soundhound, decent day for SUN. Obviously, we know NVIDIA is invested in this company. I wouldn't consider this a small cap gapper vis-a-vis the NVIDIA investment, and also given its market cap of a decent $2 billion. I don't consider this a small cap gapper, but what I do see here is a whole lot of resistance at this 6-ish area, 1320. Yesterday, we did get a little bit higher than we are today. So today, technically, an inside day. We're ensconced between yesterday's lows and yesterday's highs. The best we could do on the day was around 10:05 yesterday, 1320. We got to that 6 1/5. Right there on this candle over here. We're very close to that right now, 612, so 8 pennies off that high yesterday, and we're definitely getting into that area. Yeah, I think he's saying it's a high short float as well. Let me get you what Trade Ideas is saying about this bad boy. Yes, absolutely accurate. 25% of, let me just make sure that Trade Ideas, yeah. So it is about a 292 million share float larger, but about 25% of that is actually borrowed for short. Don't know where they're short, but we can make educated guesses based on the price action. Make a long story short, I want to see what it does at 6. Do we fail 6, 1320 like we did yesterday because we gave up the ghost, ended up closing out at 5 1/3, or do we hold 6 today and I can base my trade off $6, so use it as that level of support? We'll have to wait and see. Time will tell. It's doing the dance right now at $6. Shout out to you. Thank you for pointing that one out. I didn't have my eye on that. But I should probably tell you, if I show the chart, Fabian, there was a moving average crossover right now, not that long ago, a bearish crossover. Again, that's just one thing to note. never should be, you know, the precipice for why or the reason why you get in or get out of a trade. $6, important level. MACD crossover right now looks like it's weaseling its way down. We'll have to wait and see what it does. So yeah, that's my look there. Now, I was looking at goggles right now because it did breach 185.50 by a little bit, but it was able to quickly retrace above it. So is it going to zig and zag a little bit here? What's the deal? Because I'd like to take this long, possibly for, you know, a buck winner or whatever, because that's the range, 185.50, 186.50. It may not give me that full buck on every occasion, but right now it's zigging and zagging. It did break below 50 decidedly, but it was quick to reclaim it. So what's my move here? Do I want to play this one? Okay, what's the future doing? The future's hanging out at 20,650. Looks like it may be making a move down. I don't know if Goog's really moving with the future today. Decisions. Yeah, let's just get in. So we're going to get in here, and we're going to let this one go to the break of 40. So we're going to risk 16 pennies. We're going to go 185, excuse me, 185. And then we're going to say the break of 40, the break of 30, of 40, excuse me. So we'll go like that, and then we'll put that in. So what do we? All right, we're nice 10 pennies in the money here. Dece. All right, let's see if this one can run up a little bit more. I ain't gonna complain. Big Spile Burdette just messaged me on the gram, and he's building a large short right now on the SPY, because he's Big Spile. 561.50 and 562. Big Spile is looking to take this market short. Shout out to you. I've been handed a note over here. And I wasn't told to read it, but, you know, why is it in Latin? What is going on? Is there a reason that I don't read Latin? I don't.
Oh, trying to sue you.
Yeah, so best training order. Trenda Tika, the plaintiff, is suing me, the Professor Sharif defendant. This is a statement of claim. I must file a statement of defense within 30 days, otherwise I will be found in default, according to the civil procedure laws of Ontario, that I know for a fact. But I don't understand Latin. Do you understand Latin? Can you read Latin, Adara?
No.
No. Well,
unfortunately, we'll never know what she's suing you for.
Right here. Right here. Right
this is
there.
petty. This is like...
This is good times, man. I don't mind this. This is all good times. Shout out to Ray. I did not expect that. I didn't expect to be served with papers live on the show.
No.
Right? Do you know that the service laws in Ontario, if you don't want to receive service, if I want to sue you, I just go like this. I touch you with it and I drop it.
Really?
Yeah, because you may not want to accept it.
I did not know that.
I can like just like that. Yeah, I know. Isn't that like
very interesting.
I asked, like, isn't that assault technically?
That feels like it could be on the line of it.
There's a rule in law and criminal called de minimis non curat lex, which means that the law does not concern itself with trifles.
Oh, I see.
So that would be trifling.
That's interesting.
Trifling.
Music time.
All right, what are you looking at there, Dara?
Yeah, so, D-Lo, Sharif getting sued for non-concealed guns.
Oh!
Shout out to Sharif getting a little bit of love there, so I saw that and had to laugh. Shout out to you, D-Lo. Right now I'm getting, I don't want to say destroyed in Tesla because I'm still following my plan, but Dara, this is why you scalp. If you ever forget why you scalp, Dara, this is why. I was trying to play that range here in Tesla, that 249, and I said to risk it to 250, so I wanted to honor that plan. Maybe the plan is the issue. I don't know. We're definitely gonna. This was not the vibe here, but I really wanted to play that range, and I wanted to give it room because, you know, Tesla will sometimes do Tesla things. So I'm going to be getting out here as we get above that 250. Come on, Tesla, let me out. Okay, Tesla, cool. Tesla did not want to let me out there. Good times. Yeah, definitely did give up some of that those initial gains from earlier in the day, but you guys know what I'm like. Stuff happens. You just want to push harder. I was considering flipping long here when we kept having those higher lows at 249, so I'm really disappointed in myself for not trusting myself and trying to commit to this plan that isn't even really my trading style. So definitely a learning lesson there. JPM, happy with this. I'm profitable. I actually did end up profiting here in that JPM. Just did end up having to leave the rest when we got out of that 650s, but not disappointed with that. Ain't too much saying Dara driving Tesla. I think Tesla's driving me over there, but I did like that pun. And you know what? I'm not going to let this thing off the hook if I continue to see stuff I like. I should have gone long here. Or should have flipped long. That's honestly my issue is I trusted myself and I was committing to it's like, why are you trying to take a $2 range, Adara? Or on Tesla. On Tesla, I didn't mind range splitting JPM because JPM's already literally back to that 206.50. So JPM, you might be on watch with some size there. That might be the vibe. Tesla popping to high of day. So happy I got it where I did. Just a little bit more Tesla pointed that I wasn't a little bit more, I guess, on it instead of committing to what I thought I saw. I wanted that flat bottom break so badly that I missed some other opportunities. But that's what you have to do. You have to learn. That's the point with trading. You don't learn if you don't take a trade. And that's something, Neil said, that's something I know you've said as well. It's like that every trade you take is an opportunity to learn from it. You either you win or learn. Okay, so I love that there. IWM though. Whoo!
2.
Yeah. I mean, look at this double top here. Look at VWAP. Look where we're rejecting. IWM, if you want me to short you, I am qualmless. I am actually qualmless. We're going to start getting involved here. 79.
Do your thing, because I know you're trading. Yeah.
Start getting involved at 79. So we're going to add here. If we get to 214s, if we break decisively above here to that 214.20 level, I'll get out. Planned additions, already actually put in additions. I mean, IWM, we got to get a couple more pennies for me to get involved, so that's all good there. Baby, this would be a dream if I could get into IWM.
All right, Katina Man needs you to select some flavors for the wings, so I'll put them in the... He's gonna throw them in the work chat. So
okay, cool.
Get ready for that. Yeah. All right, so I wet my beak there on some profits on goggles. I'd like to hold this one into the mid 80s. I've moved up my stop now for the break of the general $0.50, so it's gonna have to hold the $0.50. This is a range trade, so I'm not trying to take anything breakout related. So it's gonna have to move or I'm gonna get out. Already profitable on it. Let's see if it can weasel its way right back up. I'm still also very interested on AAPL because it is coming into that 20 exponential and it keeps finding a buyer at this $0.50 despite the fact that it's been putting in lower highs since around 11:10, so the better part of half an hour now. So I wanna see how this area resolves over here. Excuse me, 231.50, very important area of previously resistance, now support. Does it find its footing there and start curling back up? Now, if this one starts putting in candles, making new highs and making higher lows, I will punch long into Apple despite the fact that it's near that high day and despite the fact that I still don't know how it's going to resolve at 232. So we're going to keep my eye on AAPL. I think it's in play today off yesterday's 2 1/3. I think it retraced down to the downside. 250 on TSLA, still an important level, even though we've obviously gotten to 251. I feel like that 250 hasn't been taken on like a really, I don't want to say permanent basis, but conclusive basis, at least conclusive intraday. We had a double top over here at 1050 and 1045, and then we're attempting right now to break above 250, but I'm seeing a topping tail come in to 251 right now. So yeah, Tesla's a bamboozler. Can't pretend like I've got always the best read on it, but definitely interested to see how we deal with 250, if we can get it on a closing basis or what the sitch is going to be. But that's a look there. We're seeing very much kind of the same zig and zag on the Zon as we're seeing on goggles. Very, very similar charts today, kind of like a sound wave almost, a little bit above, a little bit below, kind of like a chart of indecision. That's what it feels like, a chart where, there's really no buyers, but there aren't all that many sellers either. So Tesla looks like it's weaseling its way up, and this looks like it's going to be a conclusive, at least an intraday conclusive take of 250, and there's the new high of day, 251.60. Wow. Good move up for the Cybertruck, now up 4.5%. Can you imagine if Tesla retraces the entire down move yesterday?
I weirdly would not be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked either, quite frankly.
I tried to get involved in that long, and Tesla would not let me in the Cybertruck.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to Sharif's real life.
No, seriously though. No. The Katina Man is letting me know that I have to actually check what's going on, and I need to know this. Katina Man, can I just get the dried lemon pepper? Okay, that's all I want, bro. I'm about that life, right? Yeah. There we go. So I'm good with that. Dried. Katina Man, can we make sure it's dried lemon pepper? Because I wasn't.
It is dried. We had it last time.
because I was not about that life last time with that.
It was dried last time.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't dried last time.
It wasn't?
No.
Maybe I don't know what that means.
I know my dried lemon pepper. Shout out to him. Appreciate you, Katina, man. I did get stopped at a goggles there as it did weasel down into the, it broke the $0.50, so I lose about 6 pennies on that last trade. It's making lower lows and lower highs. I think this one might be trending down here, and the range trade may be going, at least for the minute. Who knows? It's right back up again. So I'm going to have to I'm going to have to give this a little bit more room if I want to range trade it because the range opening up a little bit here, Adair.
Yeah, I tried to get involved Tesla here long. This 251.30, we were bouncing off it pretty nicely. Now we're kind of rejecting off it. So I'm going to learn from that previous Tesla trade. If I see something I distrust, why am I staying in it? So we're going to be getting out here. I don't. We could bounce off that 251. That's fine, but it's just not something I'm really necessarily comfortable in staying in. And maybe that is biased from that previous short experience. But right now, from what I'm seeing, I'm happy I left. If we keep rejecting that area I initially got long at, that 251.30, I have no qualms getting short. I am qualmless, Sharif. Because look, every time we get, so shout out to Darius, I believe, yesterday in the chat, asking me, like, when you say you see stuff in the book, that you look, what are you talking about? So this 251.30, we initially were bouncing off of that on the buy side. We get there, go higher, bounce, right? Now we're rejecting off it on the sell side. So to me, that's something distinctly different. To shout out OB there. And yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that is giving me qualms, is giving me pause, is that we're still, yeah, so I was right, we did go higher, so happy. I mean, a little bit sad I wasn't in the long there, but happy I got out of the short. I need to get back into my game plan. Adara, just because you had one trade that didn't work, that went against you, doesn't mean that things don't go well. It just means you weren't trading your style, which I wasn't. I traded my plan, but the plan was arguably deeply flawed, so that was the issue there. Which sometimes you have to recognize that when that's the case, because that was absolutely the case here. Tesla's still getting kind of doji-ish, so if we keep bouncing here off these 35s, that area, I might get back involved here. But IWM, unfortunately, I didn't think I'd get filled in a short, so I canceled my order. That was definitely a mistake. I'm going to try getting involved at 71s here with a smaller. I initially wanted 79, so I don't feel like that's massively chasey. Do you know what I mean? Like one thing, too, that Neil said that stuck with me in a couple lessons of the day ago was that get less thinking of your prices like specific levels and more like areas. So it's like for me, if I want this IWM 70s area, I have to be okay with the fact that I might only here get 71s. But someone seems really happy.
I'm
so
scalping.
Do you want to talk about it?
I'm like doing your thing today. I'm scalping on the dead one right now. We just took nice 30 pennies super quick, got in 60s, got out 90s on AAPL. It was a 20 exponential retracement on the 5. And I said to myself, look, don't try to guess that it's going to bounce off 20 exponential because I got burned on a couple of those trades yesterday. If you'll recall, I made the assumption that the 20 was going to come in as a level of support. So I said, look, it's making these weak red candles right now looking like it wants to pop. Put an order for the first green candle to make a new high above the high of the previous candle. It's exactly what I did, and it shot up into the mid-90s there. I was long at 60s. I could have had a way better price. I didn't, but that sucks to be me. Anyway, scalped on that one and going to look for the next trade. I really don't know what that is at the moment, but I'm very interested in shorting goggles. And the reason I'm interested in shorting goggles is not just because I got stopped out in the remaining amount, but these consecutively lower highs, it looks like a compression pattern looking to flat bottom break. Here we don't have a discernible trend before or prior to the compression pattern like I was just talking about on the lesson. Typically resolves in the direction of the trend. When you have this prior to the compression pattern is zigzagging, there is no trend, bro. It's zig and zag. So you're gonna have to guess which one it's gonna break down into. So I'm not gonna guess. I'm gonna wait until it either resolves downward or continues to range, and then I will get a worse price, obviously, by virtue of that kind of strategy. But that's fine with me. I need confirmation that it's gonna resolve in that way. And right now, here it is again below the $0.50, 185.45 or so. GOOGL is what I'm talking about right now, guys. These lower highs and this flat bottom breakish through 850. I should mention, and I didn't mention, and this is a mistake on me, this 185 mid-50s, that's yesterday's closing print. So it's absolutely, it makes sense to me why this price keeps coming into play. There's so much intersection here between the price action of today and yesterday's closing print at 185 mid-50s. So it does make a little bit of sense there. So keeping my eye on that. The other thing here, guys, the Katina man was talking about his VWAP. What was it? It's like Did the NOS boss make that for you? The VWAP scanner, right? Yes. Okay. He made one for me too, but yours is specific to large caps, I think, Katina Man. Yes, it is confirmed by the Katina Man. So what he was talking about there was when one of these names comes into VWAP, either from the south side or the north side, he gets notified. And you've seen the Katina Man often add or remove his position at VWAP. Like when something's trending up and it comes back into VWAP, you've often seen the Katina Man add at those levels. And this is what I want to talk about right here. So this is one of the things that you can possibly look at right now. AMZN has had a love affair for whatever reason with the volume weighted average price. Today, every time it comes into VWAP here, it either rejects or bounces off that level. It's south of 195, so I'm less inclined to say that it is the whole dollar level that's, having a lot of interplay or intersection here. To me, it is VWAP. We're at VWAP right now, but as you can see on these previous descents at 1055 and 11 and 1105, there have been breaches on a wick basis of the volume weighted average price, with the closing prints looking to retrace to the north side. It doesn't look like that right now, though, unless this candle retraces quite quickly and gets above 90s, because it's dipping down here into the $0.75 is AMZN. We do have this low at 11 o'clock at 194.70. We're at 65s right now, so already made a newer low there. So, yeah, good thing I didn't have a resting order at VWAP there to see for the bounce, because that would have triggered me out big boy. That would have been a 30 penny loser, and I would not have been pleased with that. So keeping my eye on goggles, on Amazon. I thought Amazon would be rangy like goggles. It's now made me rethink that whole thing, Adair.
Yeah, no, I just hanging out here with Tesla. Really proud of the execution on this trade, though it was an L. I got involved around that 251.50 area because I was seeing me at these higher lows in the book. I was like, we'll pop higher. We get right to that 251. I said, Dara, run. I leave. The thing drops like 70 pennies. I was like, okay, Dara. Happy with that. It is like, it's always going to be, and like I said, I'm hiding my P&L, but you still know roughly how things are going, right? It's always a little disappointing when you had, you started the day with a nice trade and then you just kind of dig yourself into a little bit of a hole, especially when it's because you're not trusting yourself. But, that means the only way for things to go is up. Now, I'm aware, logically, that's not real. I know with trading, you can always get a little bit lower, but it's more in your brain, right? It's the mental. The mental you always want to keep higher. I always say, even if you're red on the day, which I almost definitely am with that Tesla, you want to be green on positivity. You want to be green on opportunities. And I'm always bullish opportunities. Also, I don't know if they fixed the bull puppet, but did you notice the bull puppet was kind of sad earlier? He looked really slumped on the table.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I don't know how he's looking right now, but I looked this morning and he looked really sad.
I have to mention this. Sorry to interrupt you. GameStop is moving, guys. 3.5%. We just got a price spike up. This last candle here has about 750,000 shares done right now on this 1 5-minute candle. 26.59 HOD. We're printing 50s right now. So we're very close to day's high, but watch out. I don't have a catalyst, guys. I'm not seeing anything come in related right now to GameStop. So yeah, we've often seen this happen where we get the pump and then we get the news item. Catman did this, Catman posted that, yada, yada, yada. You guys know the drill, so be careful. I need to tell you about it, but I also have to tell you to be careful. Sorry to interrupt you, Adair.
No, it's okay. I didn't have much else to say there. I'm short IWM. Thank you, Sean, for getting those wings ready here. Food 1215 ETA. I am very excited there for those wings. IWM, keep pushing lower. Have that short. Happy with the size I took with that short, because my biggest issue yesterday with the IWM short was I got greedy because I got part filled and I had literally a scintilla of shares. So I was like, rah, 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 rah. So I was like, this IWM, I want to make sure I'm happy with the share size so I don't do very questionable things. So there we go. Tesla, if you want to reject below that 251, I will take you short. And it looks like we're not even getting to 251, so I want to be cognizant of that. We are bouncing off the 90 MA. Whatever I do in this, I'm going to scalp it. That, like I said, that was my biggest issue with this. I was doing well when I was scalp. Any time I would try to hold for a longer move, it would go against me. It's like, Adair, that's because you scalp. That's why that happened. Boop. That's my Benzinga moment. But yeah, I'll hand it off to you there. Yep. I feel like I've been yapping.
No, you're
good. To see what's going on here in the
well, look, GameStop is continuing to move up. That's what's happening, Adair. I mean, it's at 26.89 now. Guys, I mean, I don't want to dissuade you from trading GameStop. I just hate seeing stuff in the chat about I just got rinsed on that. I mean, you guys understand that I'm here every day and I see this stuff constantly, right? So I'm only trying to warn you. I personally have nothing against GameStop, nothing against these meme stocks. I love it. I think it's great for retail investment and to get people interested in the market. I got no qualms with it, as Adair likes to say. So please don't call me a suit, right? No, that's anyway, looking right now, 27 bucks. Have we been above 27 bucks in the last little while? Let's go to the 30-minute here. No, it's been a hot minute since we've been above 27. I got to tell you, we're at local highs here. Obviously not the Catman highs, but the last time we were up here was on June 17th. So we haven't been up at these levels since June 7th. We haven't been above 27 bucks since that time. So if we break 27 here, that will be a long time that we have not been above that level. So shout out to whoever wants to trade this. I guess, keep me updated on how it goes. I'm all ears, trust me. And I will shout out this name. I got no qualms with that. So keep an eye on that. Apple now breaking down. Here comes. This is the area where we got long last time. Let's see if it finds support here. This is the 20 exponential on the 5. And it is also this area crest that we put in earlier, generally there. If this breaks down on Apple, this will be an interesting look for the shorts because, well, at least you'll have a 40 penny kind of dead zone between the breakdown at 40 pennies and VWAP, which is at 231 right here. So you'll have, kind of, I don't want to call this a gap because it's not a gap, but, this kind of area that lacks any area of support. So 231 possibly incoming if we give up the ghost here at the 20 exponential on the 5. All right, keeping an eye on more Mag 7 names here, Tesla included, because I'm noticing a lot of respect now for this 10 exponential. We saw this one dip into the 20. It held that beautifully at 247, and you could tell that there was definitely a buyer intersecting here with 247. And now that I look at it ex post facto, this 247 area was also a previous area of resistance. You only had a few wicks that breached that area, but all the closing prints south of 247. Lo and behold, we use it again. That's a mistake by me. Should have been more alive to that. I thought it was a 20 exponential, but it was really a 247 hold. We'll have to see what it does if it drips back down into 247. Does it range or does it break down there? So TSLA, good look. Okay, Apple's breaking down now below that 40, and now it's 231 and a quarter. It hasn't been at this level for the better part now of an hour and a half or so. We'll have to see what it does at VWAP 230.85 and that 231 level incoming hot here on AAPL.
AAPL. Yeah, I got way, again, I need to be more patient here. I tried to short Tesla that 250 breakdown, which we actually did end up getting. I got out as we got back to 251s. Should have had a better entry point in that trade, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'm not, we're always staying positive over here on the midday show, and just honestly the show in general. I think it's such a great community. I'm going to be more patient here with this Tesla. I still have levels I like on it. I got way too committed earlier to that potential range in the 247 breakdown, but just got to keep on going, see what happens. 1320 Wolf saying Sharif is maybe a tracksuit. Yeah, I mean, maybe so, right? I guess that would be the type of suit Sharif would be. IWM got filled, half the position out. Lego, that was here. We got out. That, again, took this because we had that 90 EMA rejection. We were below VWAP. We were also rejecting off that previous top there in the previous top. So I got a part of this position at 55s. Initially, I wanted 41s. I didn't think I was going to get it. But I'm okay with continuing to add and subtract from this. Right now, we're about 30 pennies in the money with this I to the W to the M. Krispy Kreme, let's go, says Kenny Boy. Is D not moving? Let's find out. How are you doing, Sean? NVIDIA? Pardon? More than $1 in the money. Ooh. Yeah, 131 short there for Sean for NVIDIA. I should have had a better name, looking at NVIDIA more instead of just waffling around in that TSLA. Wow, that NVIDIA breakdown here at that 130s. Oh, that was a level 2 yesterday, if you remember. NVIDIA tried to have a flat, tried to curve and have a flat top break at 131, and it could not do it. So NVIDIA definitely won. I needed to be more alive, too, to use a Sharifism. If we get to that 129.40 area, this could be interesting. We had a little bit of chop and churn there earlier. It's also where VWAP is. So let's take a look at DNUT, because that was what I was going to look at there as well. Someone was looking at this one. It says Kenny Boy. Oh, Yeah, this is a great look there. I would, yeah, donut. Go short this name. No, I'm joking. Do what you want to do, but I wanted to make a pun. We've got gorgeous here, higher highs, higher lows, a bit of a bull flag trying to happen here in this donut. So DNUT, so great look there for Krispy Kreme. Yeah, certainly getting that cash rules everything around me if you're long this name. Shout out to Wu-Tang Clan. Oh my gosh, the IWM, 50 pennies in the money on this one. Keep going down, Russell. Keep going down. Wish I had more, but a stream says you're
Apple's
never going to be upset as a trader. We've got DME here, gimme. Trying to give you a little bit of a 90 MA bounce potentially. We got up to 26.90. The 27 area, if you recall as well, was interesting when we had that previous move a couple weeks ago. But yeah, we have this big old red candle hanging out around 26.30s. This is a name that would really stress me out in terms of the risk. Like I even was stressed out risking $1 Tesla, and Tesla can do $1 in 2 minutes. So yeah, DME, definitely be aware of your risk to reward on these types of names. But yeah, right now I'm going to keep an eye on my IWM. I'm going to keep an eye on my Tesla, and I want to look at NVIDIA as well. Yeah.
What's going on here? What is this? Blah.
Oh, people are giving different examples of suits. Like you're saying, someone was saying you're a tracksuit, because you said I'm not a suit, right? And then someone was like, oh, Sharif would be a tracksuit.
I would like be very happy in life if I could walk around with a tracksuit everywhere. I'm like the George Costanza. I would be fine ensconced in velvet. There's a whole episode about that, where he like dates this woman who doesn't mind him dressing down and wearing a tracksuit all the time, so he stops trying, and she likes him more because he's like not trying at all, so she's more attracted to him. I thought it was hilarious. A hammer candle here coming in on the dead one, Apple. This is really interesting. It dipped down, broke VWAP for whatever reason, found support at the $0.50. I'm talking about the 230 $0.50, and now it's at 231.10 super quick like that. So I want to see, was this a bamboozler to push out all possibly the shorts or people who were long and had stops south of VWAP? What's the situation here? Do we maintain this price above VWAP, or is this just like the first leg in the way down? I was looking possibly for a quarter dollar bounce at that 230 and $0.25. We know for a fact that was an area top, and it actually came back right into that area and bounced off, and then that's where we made highs off. It didn't quite make it all the way down there, so unsure exactly how to play this. Let me just load up my Unity. I just noticed I didn't even have Unity logged in, Ram.
Oh, what?
I know. I haven't been able to, oh, hello, Fabian. Yes, I hear you. I haven't been able to hear all the insults that Ram.
There's actually been pretty tame for Fabian and Ram Communications today.
Well, Fabian's on the 1s and 2s right now, right? Usually,
oh, okay.
So that's why I'm not getting hurled insults.
Oh my gosh.
Usually, yeah.
You're like, they have this weird like fun war.
I love Ram.
No, it does come from a place. It's just so funny. Oh my God, they're so funny together.
Yeah. So this area over here, Fabian, this 231 area, basically an area of indecision. I'm unsure what to make of this dip down. It's a doji candle right now. There's really nothing decisive about it. So we'll keep an eye on this level on AAPL. I want to see if we break above or below VWAP here, how this candle resolves. Super interesting retracement there on AAPL. Look at Goggles. Goggles is in a league of its own today. I ain't trying to trade this. I don't want any of the smoke. It's finding different areas of support at different times. The only thing that I can really glean off this nonsense are these higher lows. So the higher lows are in play, but you could also make the argument of lower highs too. So it's a whole, you know what, show today on Goggles. So I don't want no more of that smoke. It doesn't look like it's being, you know, I don't want to say it's being rational. It's the stock, right? It's not supposed to be rational, but I don't have a read on it. So I'm good with that. Now, this dip down on Apple, it seems to be coinciding with a break of 20,600 on the future. So we breached that. We actually dipped down to that 75-point area, and then quickly we retraced back above 600. I'm wondering, was that a futures-led move on the dead one, or is that an Apple-led move on the futures? Don't see the same thing on NVIDIA. Uh-oh. The wings have arrived. The Katina man has them in his hand, so we will be indulging in said wings momentarily there.
Yeah, we always wing it over here in this show. That's what makes it so fun, I think. okay, I don't want to get out of this too early, this IWM, but I want to be cognizant. Like yesterday, I had that whole thing where I was like, oh, it went well, and then I like totally added a bad place and lost all of it. So this IWM, though, I'm cognizant of this doji candle, but also I don't want to get out if we have potential move for more downside. So if we keep rejecting off the 90 EMA, which it looks like we are, I have no problem adding. We just rejected that 36. If we get to 36s again, I'll add a really small part of this position. I want to be cognizant of this potential bounce, but we're not really bouncing with any vigor like yesterday when we bounced in the IWM. It was also A off VWAP, so I should have gotten out before then anyway. And B, we bounced. Here we're just kind of drifting. We're like bobbing in the water like a fish, right? I don't mind it. It's better than bouncing.
Oh, true?
If you're short, let me put it that way.
Very good point.
But yeah, so NVIDIA, I'm also involved in here to the downside. Oh my gosh, I already got my fill. Oh my gosh, okay. Didn't even realize that. Do not, thank you. This is what I love about just having your orders. So you just have the beak water set.
Yeah.
Then you wet the beak and you're like, okay, cool. So there we go. I want to see what we do here at 130s. If we bounce again off 130s, because I did have that beak witter just below 130s, I will not want any more of the smoke. I will puff, pass to someone else. But if not, then, I will stay. I will add. I have no qualms about adding. That's the one thing, though, about when you add and subtract in these ranges like this, especially if the name you're doing that with is NVDA. You want to be cognizant the move could always change. But right now, I'm really happy with those trades. To be fair, if I still see stuff I like in Tesla, I'm not avoiding Tesla just because I made bad decisions on it before, right? Now, because you want to be able to learn from those mistakes. Now, like I said, my real level on Tesla here, the 249. Tried to play it as a range, failed miserably because I got attached to a plan I never should have been following. But now I have a plan. We scalped that thing 249s. We scalp that thing 249s. If we bounce 249s, we scalp long. If we break 249s, we scalp short. I'm going to stop saying the word scalp and 249s and just focus here on this NVIDIA and IWM, which is actually, I'm okay staying in this EWM for now because we're still bobbing lower here.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Good. Gorev says, a forgotten stock called Carvana, CVNA, just broke its 52-week highs and holding for now. We've been putting that on the upgrades and downgrades list. Gorev, we haven't forgotten about it. We know about Vana. All right, there's a Katina Man. Oh, put it, Fabian. Well, it's okay. Here it is. Katina Man, can we get a quick shot?
Yeah, we have them all.
Hey, there it is. He's coming over. All right, Katina Man's heading over. Oh, Gorev, let's load up Carvana, let everybody know what the deets are. 5.77% today. Obviously, this thing has been a monster. I got to tell you, I got this one wrong. Absolutely wrong. I thought this was going to zero. Apparently, it was $2.
Just open this up. Half is garlic and half is mango.
All right, can we go to the two-shot, Fabian? All right, here we go. Half is garlic, half is mango. So this is garlic over here. Let me see if we can tilt it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Shout out to Terra Engineering again for this. Thank you so much.
Here's all the lemon pepper.
All right, this is the one that I want. There we go, Katina, man.
I want a little bit of zig and a little bit of zag with these wings.
Give those back and we'll get some.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you, Terra Engineering, so much for what happened there.
Ooh. Anytime protein is put on my plate, I will happily consume it. All forms of protein accepted here.
I was going to say, that's got to be the least shocking thing ever said.
Yeah, can you imagine? Where is Captain Protein these days? I haven't been seeing him in a hot minute. He's probably on vacation. Summertime, right? Shout out to Ty and his disgusting egg habit. But, all good there.
Shots were fired.
Yeah, I love Ty. I'm just joking.
No, I know.
Yeah. Carvana, great look today, Gorev. I mean, we're going to have to keep an eye on this one. With respect to a trade, Fabian, I would be looking off the 50 exponential on the 5. There has been multiple times of respect today with this name, or with that level, 1020 and 1025. We bounce on the 50 exponential on the 5, and then yet again here, we find this area of support. The red solid line on my charts will always be the 50 exponential on the 5. I won't change the color scheme. It's been in place for a while. Topping tail candle, though, coming into that 138 area. Looks like it's rejecting at the moment, coming back down a little bit. But Carvana certainly in play. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm going to hold off a little bit until maybe after. And then, because I have my obsessive eating habits that I have.
Oh, right. Yeah, Sharif has this whole, I will probably take some wings in a little bit, not going to lie. But yeah, the show will not stop just because we get wings. Stop. Okay, I'm starting to build into this Tesla. I think now, you might be like, Adair, I thought you were waiting to see what we did at 249s. No, I still am. I got to have respect. I'm so conflicted over here. On the one hand, I wanted, oh, sorry about that, Ramin. On the one hand, I wanted to wait for my 249 bounce or hold, but on the other hand, I am seeing us curl below the 90 EMA in a way I find deeply fascinating. As I say that, we pop. Very happy I didn't rush into that. Nope. So yeah, no, it was a good decision to just wait. But IWM is not waiting for no. I tried to, yeah, it didn't work. But we're continuing with these lower highs, higher, lower lows. I really should have been adding to this position. Happy to be 60 pennies in the money, though, on this IWM. Really proud of this trade, especially because this is not scalpy. This is not the type of thing I normally do. But I saw that VWAP and 9 EMA rejection there and got involved. Honestly, I'm at the point where I'm like, Adair, if you were going to add to this, you probably should have added earlier. Because I don't. Again, it shouldn't really be about averages or the P&L, but at a certain time, you don't want to, trifle with your average too much. I did want to add at 40s. I think the most we got was 36s, and then we rejected lower. But it's all good, baby. If, like I said, if we see a difference here, if we start making these higher highs here, then I'll have to get out. But right now, I'm okay with letting this thing ride. I took about 50 pennies on NVDA. Took about 25 pennies without my position 50 with the rest of it. So I want to talk about that trade as well, if I may. Obviously, I got out early, but I didn't like the bounce we got. So there we go. We got this, again, another 90 EMA rejection type trade. I was really cognizant of what we would do at VWAP, so I wanted to get out before 40s. Anyway, I ended up getting out around 78, so happy with that. NVIDIA, if you want to bounce at 40s, I will take you long. If you want to go reject at 40s, I'll take you short. But meanwhile, I spy somebody breaking below 249. That somebody is Tesla, so we're going to start building a position in this one. That is for darn sure. You do not have to tell me twice on that. We're going to start getting involved again. If I see anything distinctly different, this time I'm not using price levels, I'm using the book. That's what I should have been using in the first place. If we see a difference, we'll be getting out. I don't think I'll be able to get what I want in this, but I'm willing to add in. We're going to try for 84s because I think I did miss some of the earlier move on this. And we're going to, again, hopefully let this one ride to the downside if Tesla wants to let me in.
All right. I'm still looking at Apple over here because we're ranging. Ty Bryant, I see you. He's like, Apple short. I've got a lot on, well, of the only pair of eyes that I've got. But yeah, I've been staring at AAPL. I'm looking to see what it does when it comes back into that 50. That's where it bounced off first. But I think you may be onto something here because we're getting consecutively lower highs. And if we break this area over here at the 50 exponential and the 50 penny area, both intersecting at that same area, then I will definitely be very interested in pulling this bad boy short. I'm just waiting for it to resolve one way or another right now. Interesting look here on AAPL, a little bit below VWAP, but still above that key area of previous support at that 230 and a third. Packing my patience with this one. Very much into it at the moment. What I'm seeing here on, oh, I missed this. How did I miss this? 455. Microsoft, how do you do? I mean, like, look at the umpteen amount of intersection here. Like, do I need an invitation? I mean, we know 454, 75, 68, whatever, 2/3 or 3/4 of a dollar. That was the top, or sorry, that was the closing print yesterday. And now look at this. Double top, breaks a neckline. I didn't have eyes on this at all. This set up quite well, quite decently, I think. I mean, especially if you could base your out on 455, which it never broke subsequent to the bell ringing. So really interesting here on Softy. That was a trade that you could have say, you know, the risk to reward ratio would have been really good because getting in near the tops there in the high 454s and then getting out on any breach of 455, you wouldn't have got stopped out. So interesting look there on Microsoft. Did not have eyes on that. Here comes though Meta coming into VWAP right here. This could be interesting again. Meta was weak, got strong, and now it's somewhere in between. It's still down 2% on the day, just touched 501, and let's zoom in and see exactly where it's at. 501 and a half. Didn't quite make it down there yet. Say that again, Fabian? What is happening over there? All right, 501 and a half is where VWAP is on META. So I'm very interested in getting in on this, but it's going to have to prove that it's bouncing off that level. NVIDIA is at the same thing right there. Look at this. NVIDIA coming into VWAP, finding support at the $0.50, $129.50 for now. we are putting in a rounded top. Shout out to the NOS boss and his analysis of bottoms and tops. Right there, we are consecutively lower highs and lower lows looking to break the volume weighted average price. We did find a whole bunch of support in the more liquid time of day from 10:15 to 10:30. All the wicks off the volume weighted average price were bought up. Does that happen again? So keeping my eye on that. I'm also obviously keeping my eye on Apple because it hasn't given up the ghost either at the 50 exponential on the 5. So lots of possible trades. I'm looking at Tesla as well, and it got yet another bounce off the 20 exponential on the 5. So that was one area of bouncing over here. It's doing it again right now. It's having a whole lot of trouble, though, taking 250. And quite frankly, the times that it has taken 250, at least from 11:55 onwards, they've been topping tail candles. So there's definitely somebody, or was somebody, looking to push this bad boy back down. They're going to have to keep pushing, though, because up on the day today, 3.5% looking to go. A bit mean reversion from yesterday. So keeping an eye on those bad boys, keeping an eye on Apple, as well as the soft one and Meta at these levels of there.
Yeah, IWM, we actually got below 213. And then we came back up here trying to reject that 213.20. If I see us pop decisively above 213.20, which it looks like we're trying to do here, I'll take my 50 pennies. I have no qualms. I am qualmless. I'm really proud of what I did here with this trade. Yeah, so now IWM, come on IWM, let me out. Thank you. I'd be really happy if you did that. Thank you guys. Thanks. Thanks, IWM. It's like if I talk to it, it'll let me out faster. There we go. Took about like 40 pennies on the IWM because that bounce was like a little bouncy. But it's all good there. Tried to short Tesla at 249. Was a little less stubborn with it. Still a bit stubborn. But yeah, basically, I watched this get into the 250s, reject again. I realized I wasn't going to get the breakdown I wanted, got out. Now it's like, Tesla, what are you doing?
It's still putting in lower highs.
Yeah, call it Templa, for real. Like, this thing keeps tempting me to get involved because that's lower highs. I want to say I am, again, like, because I'm an honest person, I'm Tesla pointed here with what I did with this trade earlier because I had that nice short coming into it. Then I did bungle it. And like I said, the biggest issue I had with this was just not trusting my own instincts. So stop doing that, Adara. Yeah, it was instinctively different for me, the way I went.
3. Was that 3 or 4?
It was 3, but it was for a pushback. I don't know if that, or if it was for a bad pun. I don't know if that counts. But yeah, I think I want to take this with small size and be willing to add because I am still seeing lower highs, as Sharif said. So I want to get involved in this, and I want to not get involved in this because I'm scared, which would be, if I didn't get involved, it would just be a fear thing and not my legitimate belief that Tesla will break below here. Also, if you have any stocks you'd like to look at for any reason, get involved in the chat. Well, hopefully it has volume, you know. But go in the chat there, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. Maybe it's GME, maybe it's TSLA, maybe it's NVDA. Maybe you want to hear about Sharif's awesome Apple scalps because you know he was pairing that Apple to the downside and the upside. We also have Google, that range that happened earlier before it Goog fell for that Google. But yeah, whatever you want to look at, definitely let us know because we would love to be able to have Sharif sit there or stand there and gesticulate wildly at the green screen.
People are going to have that expectation of me now, and I will refuse to.
It started because I said standing, and you're like, I don't just stand.
I know.
So I don't really know how we win here. But yeah, it's all good there. Then you'll have Shonfidence and the Obi Wanfidence, and they will go over. I like how I said the there. It was just like a very honestly Obi thing with the Amazon, but there we go. Whatever you want to look at, definitely let us know, and then we will take you through that. Well, we won't, but you know, on the rundown there in the afternoon.
Do you like this chart? Does this chart look good?
It looks very good.
It looks ridiculous. It's LPA, Adara. It is rocketing to the high side. Halted, guys. $20.34. Second up halt on the day. All the halts have been up halts. I see you guys in the chat talking about this one. This closed out its life yesterday at 980 something. So sub 10. It's now doubled 107% on the day. Halted. $20.34. Here's the tap. Give me a second.
Second.
Right? Oh, it doesn't have the tap. What is this? A New York stock? What is this?
Seriously?
LPA? Amex. It's on the Amex exchange. Okay, so that's why I'm not getting the tap on this one. Let me see if I can pull it up on my own platform over here. Or, sorry, our platform over here on not how to trade, but real trading. So LPA on the MX exchange, here it is. The tap, 2034, so it's showing me the same thing. So we don't have the tap, sadly, for the MX network, but let's look at this stock from a technical analysis perspective. Let's load up the daily. First and foremost, is it a former runner? The answer is yes. So here it is. This bad boy ran big May 30th. It continued to make highs on the 31st, but that was as good as it could do. Yes, you're seeing that right. This did run to $529 and then come back down into 9 or 5. Yes, it absolutely did. This is not a mistake on the chart.
What?
There are no post splits. There are no reverse splits. That was real price action. Right, so just keep that in mind. This stock is kind of nutty. So here's the deal. It's a $644 million market cap. It's done about almost a million shares, 915,000. You can't blame it because it's been halted twice. The float, decent 30 million shares or just about 29.5 million. Let's show them the short float, guys, on LPA. Shout out to the NOS boss and the crew. Negligible short float, according to Trade Ideas, 0.66% of the float is shorted, so not really much to have there. Let's look at the 4-hour on this. Obviously, there's nothing really to glean other than those outsized days that we had in late May. This, though, was maybe a hint of what was coming today. Yesterday, this moved. Okay, so this moved up 40-some-odd% yesterday. How did I not have eyes on this? I don't remember this from yesterday. Do you remember LPA?
I do not remember LPA.
No, okay,
yesterday.
and Adara would remember. So
I would have.
Yeah. So this one was moving yesterday, and it's up big today. So we're going to have to figure out how to play this because it's moving aggressively. Now, what is the reason it's moving? Nothing from today, but this one was, like I said, moving yesterday, and I don't see anything for it. So this is a bamboozler. I'm suspicious of this name. I'm looking at before as well. I'm looking before. I don't know why Helen of Troy is showing up here. What does this company do? Logistics Properties
We're
of the
saying real
Americas.
estate is what people were saying in the chat.
Is it a REIT? It's managed real estate company. Is it internally managed? The company develops and owns and manages diversified portfolio of warehouse logistics. So this is a REIT, essentially a real estate investment trust or sorts. Okay. Sure. The REITs ran up huge yesterday. That I know for a fact because I looked at the post-market report yesterday, and the REITs did very, very well. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this one. It's going to be a 10-minute halt minimum because you can already see it's gone over that 5-minute halt period. So keep your eye on this one, LPA. Big boy on the day. Let's flip back now to see what some of these Mag 7 names are doing because we've been waxing poetic about these small caps. Shout out to Adara. This one, though, AAPL, so it did find some support at the $0.50 TI Bryant. So that's why I wasn't quick to want to get short on a name that's up 1.5%, that was up 2% at the highs. It did reclaim VWAP, but look, a bit of an anemic reclaim here. So I'm not telling you we're going to retrace and bounce back up into highs. I need more proof, but there is some buying in and around the 50 exponential or VWAP here on AAPL. We'll see how this one goes. Tesla, yet again, finding support at the 20 exponential. This has been over and over and over here on TSLA. It did it starting at 11, and then it seized at 11.25, got up near high a day at 252-ish, 251.84, makes its way back down into the 20, and yet again, somebody's buying on the 20 exponential, but it is ranging, and it is showing you these lower highs. I mean, this 5-minute candle made a bit of a higher high than this one at 12.15, but the 20 exponential, for whatever reason, featuring today on Tesla. Make sure you are thinking about that before getting into this name. What else is moving here? NVDA, finding support at the volume weighted average price in the way that I was looking for Apple to do. NVIDIA doing a bit better. However, still south of that 130, really trying to fight its way above that $10 area at the $1.30. So we'll have to keep an eye on that because 130 was a resistance level earlier today. It's not just a $10 whole dollar level. No, we rejected 130.950, did it again, 955, and again at 10, you guessed it, 10.05, and then 10.10, then we broke down before we took that 130 level at 10.30. So I know for a fact that 130 intersects here as a level of both support and resistance on NVDA. Unsurprised about that, though. Yeah. It's a $10 level. It's a whole dollar level. It's likely going to be of import here and there.
Yeah, so I just shut down. I want to talk about it. It is Tesla, and it's all me, and I want to talk about it because I think it's about like getting. I'm happy you took this last short, but I think the issue was I had way too much conviction in some stuff earlier, which like you want conviction, but you want it within reason. Basically, what happened here was I've been waxing poetic, just to use that term all day about that 249 breakdown. I was like, oh, we're going to get the 247 breakdown. Tried to short that, didn't play it effectively. And again, I really think the trade that got me, and is definitely the thing I lost the most on, was this attempt to short that 249 breakdown and then risking it into 250 for reasons. I was like I should have been playing it as a book scalp or a tape scalp instead of trying to play it as I did. But you know what? C'est la vie. I'm going to go in the sim. I'm going to keep it working harder. Is it disappointing to go from being up on the day to getting shut down? Absolutely. Of course it is. But you know what? We're always green positivity, and I'm green more opportunities. I'm just looking at this now being like, how will I play it in the sim? So yeah, not obviously, we're not trying to mince words there, but we're hopefully going to mince some stocks over here as we get into the sims, because you just got to keep going. And I said the sims like the little people, but yeah, keep going there. Definitely going to screenshot some charts and do some intense reflecting tonight. How are you?
Fantastic. I just want to cover sound because it's really moving here. Shout out to Chris, who's asking me, look, what's the next level here on SOUN? We're going to start the lesson in a second, guys. But SOUN is in a full state of pamp right now because it's up 18.25%. Is there news on this thing? No, man. There is no. Yeah, is there news?
There was news a couple days ago.
Couple of days. Collab. Yes, you're right. So on the. Yeah, yesterday, SoundHound AI shares are trading higher after the company on Wednesday, so this was 2 days ago, announced it's SoundHound Chat AI. Thank you, Adira. She bang on with that. Voice assistant with integrated Chat GPT is now live and in production. Oh, I remember this on Peugeot, Opel, and Vauxhall vehicle brands in Europa. So good luck for SOUN. Chris was asking me, hey, man, we're at 6 1/3. What's the deal? Where are we going to keep going? Well, you got to look at the daily. We're above the crest that we put in mid-May, so we got to go all the way back into March. And the last time we were up above $6.50 was this day in March. So let's look over here. So this is 6 1/3. We got to go all the way back to this area over here. This one? Yeah, this one. That is March 22nd. $6.50 was the best we could do. Now, if we squeeze above 6, again, I'll be looking at 7, and we definitely have resistance at $7 from late February. Above that, though, we're looking incrementally, every $0.50, whole dollar, essentially, Chris. So we're gonna have to keep tabs on this one. Let's look at the 5-minute real quick here. We're at 6 1/3. Unsurprising that we are finding some resistance there, but fantastic look for sound, man. Any retracement either on the 10 or the 20, you have been paid today on SOUN. Recall, guys, this is not a small cap gapper. It may move like one at times. There is big money behind this. Most notably, NVIDIA is invested in this company. It's also a $2+ billion market cap. So I wouldn't label it, in the same way that I would label some of these small cap gappers. Please, what? All right, I'll look at that after. All right, guys, let's get to the lesson du jour. We have been talking about Elliott Wave theory all week long. Monday, we introduced the topic. Tuesday and Wednesday, we talked about some of the impulse waves and how to trade them, as well as yesterday. And today, we're going to be talking about the corrective waves. So from our previous discussions, we've talked about the impulse waves being waves 1, 3, and 5. Those are the trending waves that go up or down. Waves 2 and 4 are the corrective waves that go against the trend. Okay, that's what we're going to be talking about today and how to spot those. So, Elliott Wave theory identifies 2 distinct type of waves. Impulse waves, which drive the trend, and corrective waves, which consolidate or retrace the price movement. Today, we'll explore the 3 main types of corrective waves. They are zigzags, flats, and triangles. Understanding these patterns equips you to better interpret market corrections and potential trading opportunities. So let's get right to it, baby. So the 3 amigos of the correction, let's talk about the first one, zigzags. So imagine a sharp 3-wave ABC retracement against the trend. 3-wave ABC retracement against the trend. Zigzags are the most common corrective pattern. They're characterized by, number 1, their sharp price movement. Expect strong price swings in both directions from A to B and from B to C within the corrective wave. They're also characterized by their impulse-like structure, right? Each subwave, A, B, and C, within the zigzag can sometimes resemble a miniature impulse wave, almost like a mini trend within the correction. And I'll show you what I mean in a second by that. I know it seems a little bit vague, but the zigzags are also characterized by their time frame. Zigzags, they ironically can appear on both the short and the long-term time frame, so you can spot them on both. And here's what I mean by the zigzag pattern. So you see it goes up, it comes back down, goes up. It works both as a bullish pattern and as a bearish corrective pattern. Valid both ways. And this is what I mean of a trend within a trend. So you'll see here, this is wave A, goes up, and then this is wave B, goes down, then wave C breaks through wave A. But within each wave are 3 or 4 subwaves. And that is important to note, because when you move up or you're moving down, you're not moving up clean with, 10 green candles in a row or no retracements. That's not realistic. You're gonna get these subwaves, so you need to be cognizant of viewing the trend from a wider time frame and being ready to see mini trends within the larger trend. That's what I'm talking about here. So you can see when we look at wave A, contained within wave A is subwave 1, subwave 2, subwave 3, and subwave 4. And then it completes at 5 on the top. And it does the same thing down into wave B, with this time 3 subwaves rather than 5. Keep that in mind when viewing this in the context of real-life trading. Flats are the other type of corrective or consolidative pattern. Think of sideways price movement within limited price action. Flats are corrective patterns within a choppy A, B, C structure. Again, I'll show you what this means in a minute. Here's how they're characterized. They have limited price movement. So wave A goes in one direction, wave B retraces some of wave A, and then wave C either completes the correction or breaks above wave A. There's different ones, I'll show you them in a second. And it's also characterized by its time versus price comparison. So flats can take longer to unfold compared to zigzags with less dramatic price swings, and identifying them can be a bit of a bamboozler because they can be trickier to identify compared to zigzags. But what you're looking for here is horizontal or slightly angled price channel for potential flat patterns. And there are 3 different types of these kind of flats. One that, like as you can see here, the regular one where A and B and C, they're equidistant or almost thereabouts. Here, B breaches wave A, and in this case here, C doesn't reach all the way, doesn't correct all the way back down to wave A. Sometimes you'll see C correcting below or above wave A, depending on whether you're going long or short. But what you're looking for generally here is price action ensconced within a channel. You have breaches to the north side and the south side of times, of course, but you're looking for a horizontal or slightly angled channel with the waves basically being in the same. And very much the same thing that we talked about zigzags of having subwaves contained within a larger wave is completely applicable to the flats as well. And that's why I've included this bad boy over here. So you can see in the regular flat wave, you have wave A, but within wave A is subwave A, subwave B, and subwave C. You need to get your mind around that because that's likely going to be the pattern IRL. It's not going to be clean up and to the right with a line like that. Last but not least, the triangles, converging and diverging, both we're going to talk about here. So imagine price getting squeezed within a converging or diverging trend line channel. Triangles are corrective patterns with a 5-wave, not 3-wave, a 5-wave ABCDE structure characterized by, number 1, the converging triangle. These triangle come on, I can get it. These triangle patterns can be ascending, where the price makes higher lows, or they can be descending, where the price makes lower highs. In both cases, the trend lines defining the triangle converge as the pattern progresses, indicating a potential breakout. Equally as important are these diverging triangles. They're a lot less common though, and diverging triangles have trend lines that move in opposite direction, so sort of like a megaphone, upward and downwards, both are correct, suggesting to you a potential continuation of the dominant trend. And last but not least is the breakout through the triangle. So triangles often resolve with a breakout in the direction of the preceding trend. And I've yapped about this for months, and I'll yap about it again. You need to look at what the trend was before a compression pattern starts forming, because if it was trending up or trending down, it likely will resolve in that direction, or so the books say. Okay, so keep that in mind. And remember, guys, these are simplified descriptions that I'm giving you. Real world patterns can exhibit variations of all kinds. Use other technical indicators to confirm these corrective wave patterns. And here's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these converging and diverging triangles. And this is how you kind of see this: A, B, C, D, E breakout. And so this is what I mean by an A, B, C, D, E pattern. It usually zigs and zags like that. Now you may have more letters. Sometimes you'll zig and zag for like 6 months and you'll get like multiple bounces off that. So you got to be ready for all the different variations. All right. And just to leave you with a final idea here, by understanding these zigzags, understanding these flats and triangles within the overall structure of Elliott Wave theory, you can certainly gain valuable insights into potential price consolidation zones within a trend. This knowledge can certainly help you refine your entry and exit strategies for a more comprehensive trading approach here.
Yeah, those wings are really good. I was having some wings there. Yeah, I want to talk about the whole like getting shut down thing because yeah, it's interesting too. It's because it's funny, I was up on every name but Tesla. It's like I had some good trades in Tesla, but it's like a Dara, that does not have to be the only thing you trade for reasons. Now I'm in the same here. I'm still trying to trade this Tesla because I want to learn from it. Now I'm aware there could be a level of stubbornness here. But I'm like, Adara, you have the opportunity. This is a breakdown. This was a range breakdown you've been watching. And it might not manifest how you think it will. But you have the responsibility, I think, to yourself to try to see this out. Now, I think, you know, one thing that Neil has said to me, I think right when I went live, is don't be afraid to get shut down. I mean, it's obviously a good feeling, but I think it gives you an opportunity to step back and to be like, how would I interact with these markets? Obviously, I have a lot more to learn. I think I got really FOMO-y and weird with some of those TSLA moves getting involved. I took a not way smaller, but like a smaller, the smallest kind of position here. I usually don't take much size anyway on this TSLA, and I'm trying to trade this breakdown again. Not super happy with the entry. Where did I even get involved in this? Got involved here at just above 249s. So I really want to see us again continue to stay below this 250 area. I initially tried to go long here at this 249.30s when we were bouncing off that. I think what I'm realizing though is Tesla is just not going to give me that consistency that I want, or that I think it is going to. So I'm going to have to give up on this name in the sim or in the live, because like otherwise, what am I really learning here, in all honesty? Yeah, like that's the whole thing though with you got to take the highs and lows in life and in trading, and sometimes things go your way and other times you know, they don't. And I think that's what's really cool and rewarding about trading, are all of the parallels for life. Amazon is actually looking interesting here in my side chart as I, when in doubt, zoom out, not just in the chart, but I think also in the markets. And,
4. Fabian.
This is a great look. I really like this Amazon look. Now, I am not a massive Amazon trader here. I will leave that honor to the Amazonian and the mustachioed man to my right. However, like, look at this rejection here. A VWAP at this previous year. Like, this is a good look. We're going to get a resting order here at 69s.
Like it.
Because as Strafe would say, what's life without whimsy? But also here, because like seriously, that is kind of, I want to get 70s, but I want to give it 70s. So if we get above here, that 80s, I'm going to be risking 11 pennies. I would love to make at least, oh my God, Derek, you're so tired, math. I want to make at least 15 pennies here, if not more. So that's really what I'm trying to look for here on that AMZ. And see, Brad Glover, I want to address this. I think this is interesting. Half your trades would work if you stayed a little longer in them. I think that style doesn't work for me, and I think that's what I really learned today. I tried to give myself way too much room in a Tesla trade that if I had traded it how I normally traded, I would have realized was an L immediately and gotten out. So I appreciate what you have to say. I think really, though, what I've learned today is that actually doesn't work for me. And I don't know why I need to like apparently have this happen again to figure that out. But you know, you got to take the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs, keep coming and keep going over here. Amazon weak, says Sean James. Oh, believe me, I agree. Let's take that short if Amazon will let me have that expedited delivery.
Oh yeah.
How's your Apple going?
I haven't been. I'm not in it, but I'm watching this range there at 231 with an obvious area top and not really the $0.50. I mean, sometimes it makes its way into the $0.50, 230 $0.50, but this has been stuck in a range, and the future is now at 20,600. It just got a little bit above that. It's not by much, so it's nothing to really sing about or write home about, but I think it was really precipitated by this pamp that we got in NVDA. It breached 130. It had trouble with 130 earlier. We knew that owing to this area of consolidation, this area crest over here that we broke down from. We broke down, held VWAP, and then reclaimed 130 again. And it looks very similar to the chart on the future. So we were talking about how, you know, sometimes it's Apple leading the way, sometimes it's Softy leading the way, sometimes NVIDIA. They're all 3 trillion and change. So, you know, one is going to lead, the others are going to follow at times. So NVDA here, been putting in higher lows since 12:15. So they're almost now half an hour of higher highs and higher lows on NVDA. Having issues though with the $0.50, unsurprised there because it was intersecting with said $0.50 quite a bit today on the morning show. So now back to Apple, because I got to look at both. So we did reject 231. That would have been a 30-penny banger, but it's still ranging between the $0.50 and the whole dollar. So that's what the dead one's been doing since 12 o'clock. So now we're 40 minutes deep into this range over here. Now, you may not be interested in the range. You may be interested. I let you know about that. Whether you want to trade it or not, or you looking for a breakout or a breakdown below it, you could also use the range for those purposes. You don't need to necessarily trade it. So keeping my eye here on AAPL, but I love Adair's analysis of AMZN. I've been of the same opinion. Mind you, I was looking at it from the north side, from rejecting that 195.50, but I think this is equally as appropriate. Look at that rejection off the volume weighted average price at that candle at 12.35. That gave you big boy moves right away. That gave you like 30 pennies and quicker than you can say, how do you do? What's your view today on the Amazon? Any comments about that you'd like to share? Sideways. A bit of a range, he says. So, you know, the Amazonian echoing what I've got to say about this sideways movement. It looks like a sound wave. I mean, it does. Kind of like Google. We're very similar charts today between Amazon and Google. Obviously not the same, but very, very similar there. What's up? Do you have something to say?
No, I'm just looking at Amazon.
Yeah, no worries. All right, let's look at Meta here, because Meta, unlike Amazon, seemed, number one, to bounce from the north side, not the south side, off the volume weighted average price. And now it's looking to weasel its way up above 504. However, on the other side of that coin, we still have lower highs on META. So, you know, we haven't been able to kind of break any of the previous crests that we put in earlier, nor, though, have we made any lower lows. So we're still much higher than that IB low that we printed at 498 earlier on at around 1025, 1030 or so. So let's keep an eye on that. Now, let's flip back to some of the small cap gappers, because I feel like maybe some of these Mag 7 names are a little dormant at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on them, but we'll talk about some of these other ones. So Guma has retraced now off that 2689 GME, guys. I'm talking about. I'm joking when I say that. We have 3 hours to fill, so don't mind me. $26 seems to be a bit of a decent support area right there, at least for now. A bit of a hammer candle forming up 2610, but the volume really dropping off, especially from that 1150 pump and that 1159. So we'll keep an eye on the GME. The one that I don't have on here for whatever reason, I have to take one of these off. We'll take out EVGO, is LPA, because LPA is the big boy on the block right now. So it halted to the downside and then it halted back up to the upside over here. So this one looks like it's going to be one of those halt fests, right? And let me make the point for you guys here. So even though this is halting umpteen amount of times, you can still see some discernible trend with respect to support and resistance. Here's what I mean. So when it does retrace, it retraces into the 10 exponential. And then where it did halt down, Look where it halted down, right above VWAP. Breaches VWAP, reclaims VWAP as super quick. So even though it's halting, the price action seems to be, respecting general areas of support and resistance. We'll see if this one can continue. I'm unlikely to trade this because it's not able to stay open for long enough. 2137 right now is where it is halted. Keep an eye on this one, guys. It is trading on the Amex network. And as a result of that, I do not have the theoretical auction price. See how the tap, as we call it here on the floor, to let you know where it's ranging or what the price is while it's halted. And that works on the auction system very much like the what are they called? Katina man that you always look at the morning show. The balances. What are they called again? Imbalances. Imbalance indicator. So that's kind of the thing there. It's an auction system that works for the imbalances. It's an auction system that works for the tap as well. So that's the look. Anything on your side there?
Yeah, I mean, do we have permission to switch the name from the dead one to Apple to Amazon? Because I would be okay with that. Yeah, Amazon, I did just insult you, but like also if you moved in any way, I wouldn't have to.
Wow.
Tarzan's on vacation, leave him alone, says Ramin. There's just a snippet of literally the wonderful Ramin and Fabianisms we get. So I still want to book the Ramining of life, which is just going to be all of these Raminisms.
Right.
Because I'm legitimately endlessly entertained by them.
I'm still a little shaken out of this statement of claim that I got earlier.
Trend, I don't know if you noticed, but Trend is gone now.
Under protection.
I was served with papers because I was, wow! Trenda got migrated over there. So what was this, like an eviction notice or it's a restraining?
But why do I have to be restrained from Trenda? I mean, I didn't do anything. I did not do anything.
Excuse me, a restraining order. I have to be able to face my accuser and present a case, and I didn't get the opportunity to make my case.
He has to build his case before he can give his case. Yeah, Ramin and Fabian keeping us entertained so we can keep you entertained.
Always.
Also, I had some wings. They were really good. I had some garparm because that is my vibe. And then I had one of the lemon pepper as well. Shout out to the... Ramin says she thinks if I had the mango habanero, I'd be out for 2 weeks. Never mind. It was so nice because I go up. It was very nice of her because Ramin once put in the chat nice to Ramin. I say nice. I was walking up there to get the wings, and then I see Ramin she freaks out. I don't know what she's doing. She tells something to Fabian. Fabian's like, Adara, you have to be careful with the spicy wings. So Ramin was trying to protect me from the spice, which I thought was really nice there. And Ramin and Fabian were giving me very detailed. I feel
like Ram has alternative motives for a lot of things.
For me to not have a spice attack. I think that was pretty nice.
I don't know. Well, that's what it looks like on the surface, Adair. You don't really know what the incentives are behind her helping you, right? No.
Oh, yeah, okay, so now she's challenging Sharif to eat it on live. I guess that's part of the punishment for the lawsuit. I don't know. But looking at these markets here, I really would like that Amazon to deliver that short. I'm aware that we do have higher highs and higher lows, but we also have a lot of topping tailed candles. That was the impetus for the short. Like I said, if we crack above this 75 level here, I'm getting out. 75 also... A little bit of a pre-market area of support. Yeah, there's been a lot today. Then I think I'll have to get out. But yeah, really just trying to use this time. I am on the SIM. I did get shut down. I want to use this time in the SIM to develop and work on my strategies because clearly I got so deeply tilted on Tesla. So what I want to do instead is that breakdown I thought that we were going to get. I want to watch to see if it does happen. How does it move? How would I play it had I not messed myself up enough trying to play it earlier, right? So you're not going to get what you want in the markets. The markets are going to give you what they give you. Look at this. We get back below 249. We pop another 30 pennies. Why was I mess laying with Tesla? So that's what you really have to learn, right? I think this is going to be a good opportunity. I'm really ready to watch the book and the chart on this if we do get that breakdown so I can really see how I'd learn, how I would play this. Definitely should have, probably taken less size a bit on it as well. But that's the whole point of learning and reflecting. And that's what I love about being able to be on this show, being able to talk about these things live and to the people. Tesla losing it, says Joanna Brewster. Yeah, I think it's trying to lose it at that 249. I would definitely agree with you there. Carvana, though, we have Gaurav mentioning Carvana. Let's see. I think it's Nirvana if you're Carvana along here. Look at this. We get to that 140. We wick above here. Wick a little bit below. Now we're trying to, I'd like to see 139 bounce because A, it's a whole dollar level. B, we had the bottoming tail candle there earlier. And C, it is around that 9 EMA area. So let's wait and see what we do here. Oh, Tesla, that 249 breakdown looks mighty fine, but I will not be taking it because, we still want to be trying to make trades that we would make live. So let's wait and see what we do there. Happy with this Amazon though. Pretty much flatten it. My average price is $194.60, so a cool 5 paper pennies in the money. But let's see if we can get a paper dollar club here for AMZN.
Yeah, so I fat fingered again. So that's 3 fat fingers in 2 days, 2 yesterday, 1 today. Got short Apple, 231s, covered 80s, and I didn't mean to cover the entire thing. And that's another mistake on my part. So now I'm going to look to play the range. I want to get long at 55s, see if this range, continues to play out. Now, let me tell you something else. My experience has been when the range keeps repeating, the bamboozling comes in. And then you'll get, a specialist breakout or breakdown. What that means is they'll push the price beyond the range and then bring it right back in to force out the longs or the shorts or whatever to bamboozle you, essentially, okay? So looking for the long now on AAPL to continue to play that 50 penny range. I don't want to say I'm disappointed in myself. I'm just kind of annoyed. Like, how hard is it to, enter the amount of shares you want to get out? Anyway, so that's my mistake. But anyway, playing the range right now on AAPL, that's really all that it comes down to. The future did reject, at least it looks like, for the moment, the retracement above 20,600. So we weasel our way into 20,600, and here we go again now, 3 successive candles with lower highs right now, albeit, 11 points below said 600-point level. And we do have an area of support towards this bottom end of the consolidation at around 20,500 and, let's say 500 and 2/3. Essentially, it's this area top over here that we flipped from resistance and we used it over here as support. So that's kind of the stair-step nature of TA and these support and resistance levels. So I don't want to say we're giving up the ghost at 20,600, especially in light of the fact that we're still putting in generally higher lows, even though these candles now 4 successive ones with lower highs. So very, very much keeping an eye on the future to figure out what said Mag 7 names are going to do. So, it's really the Tesla, NVIDIA, and Apple show today. You've got basically Microsoft dead, Goggles dead, Amazon dead, and Meta down. Meta down looks like, it's going to be maybe 2% or so. So if you want anything bullish, I feel like it's these 3 over here, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Apple. You want a range of sorts, Amazon, Microsoft, and Goggles. If you want possibly a move down, but even though it's above VWAP now, is META, but it was quite quick to reclaim that 500 when it broke down to 494 territory. So I feel like it may hold above that $500 level again. All right, AAPL coming back into that 231 level again, and if it does, I'm interested in getting short. I didn't get filled on my dip trade at 55s. It did make it down to the low 60s. Sadly, though, the range not always at the same price, so sometimes you get triggered, sometimes they don't. So we'll look for the show if we come back into 231. Let's see what everybody's talking about there in the chat. LPA says, Tisha, shout out to Tisha. She loves her small cap gappers, and I have to echo that sentiment. She's all over that. Look, Tisha, there's a support level here because there is a halt level at 21.25. So I typically with the halt levels on the small cap gappers, I'll chart them as potential areas of support and resistance. Whether I use them or not, entirely different story. I just like to have notice of them. Here we are. We're at 21.25, Tisha. This was a halt level from before. Do we hold up here? Looks like we're zigging and zagging. So right into 21.75, and then down into 21.25 again. So I want to see if 21.25 here gets breached on a closing basis right now, because that is the halt level from last time, and I want to see if it acts as a level of support. It looks like it is for a minute, but that could absolutely change. All right, I'm long Apple because I didn't clean up my stops, and I'm an idiot. Here above 231. So I want to see if we're going to get a decided break of 231. So I am willing to risk 7 pennies on this long because it did breach a level. So if it breaks down below 231, I will get out. If it holds it, I'll take this short long. I'll send it to you, Daryl. I'll put my stops.
Yeah, for sure. I'm getting involved back in that JPM. JPM was a name that I said I really like, that 206, 22, 650 area. Look what we're coming back into. That area. Last time I played this, it's kind of a range like 206, 20, 206, add, subtract, add, subtract. So I want to keep doing some of that stock math over here if JPM will let me. I have the same areas to stop as I did previously. If you get above that 206.50, I'm outie. Actually, I'd probably even raise it to 206.40 here. But I want to get that entry because I do think, given these slightly lower highs we've had here, I think if we break down, we'll get that viciously. Also, I am learning a lot from this Tesla today. I'm watching here. We still never got that breakdown. It's like, Adara, play what exists. Don't play what you think will exist. Tesla is clearly a range from 250 to 249 for reasons. And it's like, I think sometimes you need to just step back and get back into, to shout out a Drake song I don't know if anyone knows from like 2011, Back to Your Ways, because you want to like go back to, shout out to Underground Kings by Drake, but you really want to have like that opportunity to go to kind of back to the sim and have just a sense to step back. I still want to take trades that I'm proud of that make sense, but you also, speaking of which, I need to get out of Amazon here because we're pushing into those 80s there, that VWAP area. But yeah, I do like the opportunity to just kind of like not really focus on a little bit less stress, just more focusing on what's actually seeing, what's happening, what are you actually seeing. Tesla, definitely in that range for now, and that's something I definitely would have hopped all over back in the sim, so you need to get that mental right. And I want to shout out again, Terra Engineering for the wings and for that challenge, because that challenge taught me something huge yesterday, which is when you're not yourself, and I think this is true about anything in life, trading, but also life in general, like this really got me introspective. When you're not being true to yourself, it's not really conducive to productivity. Things don't go as well as you want them to. And so today was really being untrue to myself by risking $1 on TSLA in a trade that the book was telling me just get out of. So that was certainly a learning lesson there. When there's other opportunities, make sure you're listening to those and not what you think you want to see or the trade that other people would take. And that's something that's taken me a little bit long to learn, but happy I have the opportunity to learn it here. JPM, what are you doing here? I did not get filled on that. It looks like, I think we're like probably pennies away. I think we got to like 18s from what I saw. But I don't want to rush into this as like a breakdown at 206. If we come back to that 206.20s, that's where I'm going to get interested. Someone was asking me my thoughts on IWM bounce. I think it did already bounce there, so I apologize. I wasn't able to get to this earlier. But shout out to you. Look at this IWM. This is a great look here. This short was fun earlier. We got into that 40s area. Have that wick above. Now we're going to keep on the downtrend. The lowest we got here since we had that low was actually coming into that previous bottom, that pre-market area right before the open here around 920s. We get to that, what is this, 212.90s, 212.87s, push higher. So you know what would be interesting to me, though, to the person who asked if it's recovering? I think it's recovering if we can recover above this 213.40 level on a closing basis on the 5-minute. Why is that my level? Look at that rejection of that topping tail candle. That's what I want to see. But I also want to see why someone was snapping. Oh, are you ready to? Sorry, I didn't know what was happening there.
Oh, we can go. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had this. We do have this IWM here. That 213.30s. If we keep rejecting here, that would be a short to me. But otherwise, I would totally agree with the person who said that in the chat. It looks like we are trying to recover as long as we can reclaim that 40s area. What you looking at?
Pamp it. I'm looking at Apple, Adara. Look, I made the point very clear. I don't want to pretend like I'm like, Sharif Shadamis or whatever like that, but I had my stop on the north side of 231. I forgot to clean it up. It triggered. I saw that I was long. I didn't want to be long. I said, look, it breached the area that I was trading the range, which was 231 to 230.5, right? So I'm like, look, I'm going to give this. It breached the range, so it triggered my attention for that reason. So I'm like, I'm going to give it 10 pennies. If it breaks down and goes back within the range, I'll get stopped out. I gave it that, and it didn't go back within the range. So I'm happy. And we wet our beak nicely on 30 pennies there. It did work its way up into 35s. Let's see if it can weasel its way up into these higher areas over here. I see some resistance at the $0.50 owing to this area of consolidation that we put in, I'll tell you in a second, from around 11:30 till the eventual breakdown 11:55. So an interesting area of local resistance at the $0.50. I will be looking to take it out at around there. So let's go ahead and put said beak wetter at 47s there, because I haven't chosen number 47 before. So maybe this one, maybe it's a lucky number. The Cybertruck is also pimping at the moment, and so is the Future. Goggles just woke up, and Amazon just breached VWAP. So I'm not saying the winds of change are coming, but you gotta be, I don't know, like you have to be ready for any olfactory sense, right? I mean, if you smell the winds of change coming,
yeah.
Right?
What do they smell like? What do the winds of change smell like, Sharif?
I don't know, Adara. I don't know. That's a good one, but I don't have an answer for that one yet. Yeah, I know you're trying to pun. I know you're looking.
No, I'm actually legitimately thinking, dude.
Oh yeah? I don't know if they actually
I'm getting very introspective, Sharif. It's a Friday.
Yeah, true.
You got to get in your feels sometimes.
But yeah, it smells like nickels. Why not paper bills? Oh, because... Daryl love that. Daryl love that. Ram said it smells like nickel because it's change. Get it? Winds of change. Yeah. Obi likes that too. So there you go. You got to giggle out of the Ob. So no, seriously though, guys, the future is working its way back up. We are pumping here. We're above 20,600. We're on our way to 30 points. We know that the high of day on the future is 666, ominous number, but who knows? 20,666.75. So we'll see if we can weasel our way right back up there. Apple on its way, possibly here for those 47s. It's showing me 38, 40s now on the dead one. Can we get 41s? We got 41s. I'm waiting for 47s. Let's see if we can get that. 43s now on the ask. Go dead one, go. And we'll also keep.
Dead one, go dead one,
right? Go. All right, I'll just take it out here. But I'm also keeping my eye on Meta because it's breaking down now below that lower trend line that we had where it's putting in lower lows. The lower highs, excuse me, the lower highs are still intact, but I want to see if we can breach that 505 area, Darrow. That's been an elusive target.
That pun was so good. I'm like still thinking about how good that pun was that Ramin made. Tesla bouncing off 250s. This is a chart. I'm going to have to like go back in the live, take a screenshot of that chart and study it thoroughly because like this is just such an example of we had that previous resistance switch to support and I wanted to break down for reasons. Yeah, I did not break down, unfortunately, there. But I do want to shout out Sharif's awesome Apple trade there.
I appreciate you, Derek.
Go dead one, go dead one, go. With the little pom-poms there.
Hey.
Oh, which is funny because in French, Apple is pomme.
Oh, it is.
So
P-O-M-M-E-S. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Which was an accidental pun there. But yeah, let's see. NVIDIA in an interesting little uptrend here on the 5-minute with that VWAP bounce. Dara, I think you want that smoke. And I like that 130-30 area earlier, so we're going to get involved at 31s. We're going to have a smaller position because I still want to trade responsibly and not do things I did with Tesla in the live that were really deeply questionable. But it's all good. No regrets to quote both Werther Millers and Obi there. You don't have any regrets. Ram trying to find out what people's plans are on Friday. So there we go there. JPM here. I want that 206 breakdown. I do want all of the smoke. I'm happy I was able to get involved here. I'm going to do that thing I was doing earlier in this name where I get out some just around that 206 level and then I add when we come back to 206.20s. I want to get back to trading those ranges if they make sense to do so. And I think in this case, JPM has been giving you a little zig and a little bit of zag to use a Sharifism in a way that I think makes sense. QS apparently ripping again, says Jabra.
No way.
Let's take a look at QS.
It is, Adara. High day.
Oh my
843.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would say there's no like pushback levels for me on this, but the closest I would get was that 805. Look at this. We had that little chop and turn here. We bounced off VWAP, but look, we wicked into it earlier and we failed it.
I love there's no pushback level.
Well, pushback level.
The levels are now adjudged on whether or not they warrant a pushback.
Yeah, because sometimes they will not.
Yeah.
But sometimes they do, and that's when it's a natural reaction. You just see things sometimes, you're like, oh. But yeah, I did get involved in NVDA. Sorry guys, my positions, because I realized they're not in the board. So NVIDIA long here. I am long
Switch it for her,
31s, 130, 31s. JPM, I'm short 206, 18s. So those are my positions in the SIM, like I said, because bad Tesla choices that I'm really excited to learn from. Smaller position in NVIDIA, a little bit more in JPM because the whole plan is to add and subtract as we curdle to the downside. I don't like that I said curdle. But yeah, NVIDIA, I'm okay with staying it as long as we continue to make higher highs, higher lows. If we break below this 13s, that's not going to be a vibe there. So we're risking about 18 pennies. And I would love to see minimum, I want to see 60s here. So trying to make about 30 pennies, risking about 18. Odd risk to reward ratio, but one that I can live with. How are you doing over here?
Good. I just watched Apple pump another 20 pennies, so that was a little frustrating. But yeah, it's above 231 right now. It's having trouble with the half dollar. Unsurprised about that because we know that this was a consolidation area earlier on. So this $0.50 area is going to be, you know, it flips from that support area and then it moves down, and now it's used as resistance. That is kind of one of the trademarks of technical analysis. They switch place once they're breached. And I'm saying this only for the newer traders. I know the experienced traders know that. And so just, you know, bear with me. We always have newer people coming in, hence why we're doing these lessons every day, because it's such a technical and niche you know, thing to be in. So if someone was coming in and we were saying the 10 exponential on the 5, they have no idea what we're talking about, right? So sometimes it's easy to forget that. So bear with us, guys. But yeah, that's the look there. Keeping an eye on Apple. Like, I got to tell you, man, you know, it's not the most breakout or breakdown time right now on the Mag 7. And, you know, I love trading the Mag 7, no question about that. You're getting ranges on it, so there are trades to be had. But you're not getting these momentum-style trades, at least not yet. You got them earlier. You probably get them again in the more liquid time of day, power hour. All right, let's talk about QuantumScape. Because, guys, QuantumScape is, look, it's... I don't want to say it's not a joke, but this is not one of those ones that's showing up that may be gone tomorrow. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But this company has a serious deal with Volkswagen. Now, if you think Volkswagen's a legitimate company, then, you know, you're probably making the assumption that they wouldn't do anything that was kind of questionable. And I got to tell you, you know, one of the holy grails in the EV business right now is to get solid-state batteries into mass production. And there's a lot of people working on that. There's no question about it. There's a lot of people working. One of the OGs of this is QuantumScape, though. They've had their fair share of setbacks. They were sued aggressively by shareholders for overstating the nature of the technology back during the pandemic. I showed you the chart on this. Fabian, if I can show them again over here. Look at this. This is it, a pandemic pump. Well, maybe it was, right? Because there was a lot of stimmies and stuff being sent out at the time. But the fact of the matter is, man, you know, big money was piling into this. And there were a lot of institutional investors as well who believed in this stuff. So, you know, I'm not saying that they're back. I'm not saying, you know, they're going to be great, but it's something to watch, right? Why not? Why not know about it? So QuantumScape, I don't want to, you know, classify it as a small cap gapper. It's a momentum trade, if anything. All right, Lucid as well, the company with unlimited finances, it feels. Also having a fantastic day. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, you're not even wrong.
Yeah,
that's the wildest part.
Do you have any idea how much cash the Saudis have, man? Like, you have to understand the administration changed in Saudi.
Really?
Yeah. So the crown prince is running the show there now, not the king, right? So the king was old school. He didn't know nothing about like investing outside. He didn't want to know anything other than oil. This new guy, say what you want about him, right? A lot of people don't like him, but he's investing in business. And so now they're starting to spend the money that was never spent. And, you know, they're throwing it around, right? We saw that with Liv. We see that with Lucid. We see that with a whole bunch of other stuff. So the Saudi is very interesting. We'll have to see. Now, I made the argument about Lucid yesterday that having umpteen amount of money is a blessing and a curse, because if you have like deep pockets, you're not really motivated to get things right, because you know you can make a mistake and another and another and another, and then keep, you know, getting funded. So depends on what side of the fence you fall on there, right? So LCID definitely having support though from a trading perspective here, off $4. Every dip, for the exception of these two double bottoms over here, 1105 and 1110, have been bought up either at VWAP or at the $4 area. There is resistance on it though, as you can see, this 15, 16 area, for whatever reason, we've been below since 11 o'clock. So going on 2 hours now of resistance at 415, 416 or thereabouts. LCID up 21.75%. Who could argue with that after the day it had yesterday? So fantastic look there for LCID. But Tisha, LPA just did the bounce off 20 again. So even though there's a bit of selling, this VWAP area is being respected, at least for the moment, on LPA, up, Adara, 110%.
Yeah, and I think one thing, too, that's really important, because earlier you said, bear with us, but also we really want you to bull with us as well. We want all of the above.
Bang.
We want all
Thank you for reminding me about that.
And we also want you to vote.
Yes.
I was just making a dumb bears versus bulls pun, but also please vote. Get involved there, exclamation point, join space, $, NVDA, META. I'm just looking at my side charts. Tesla, maybe good with that big move. Maybe you want to talk about Lucid and there may be money. Maybe you want to talk about Apple. Maybe you want to talk about IVP.
Yeah.
But that's the great thing is LPA too. Whatever you want to talk about, you could vote for it as long as there is some volume there. You want to make sure we're looking at stuff. Maybe it's C-poop. Whatever it is, put it in the chat, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever tickles your fancy. But you know what's not tickling my fancy right now is NVIDIA. I don't like that we're trying to break here above these 40s. I added the position because you're making at the time higher lows. So I was like, okay, Dara, add all that smoke. This is a really small little position. So I was trying to build on that. But we're going to take out some here at 46s because this is getting kind of dicey in a way I don't like. If I do not see a 130.50 break soon, I will be leaving NVIDIA. That's a promise. So just do what you need to do, NVIDIA, but just know how I feel. So we're getting out here. JPM took out of my position. 40% of my position. So I still have 60% of this position because I want more smoke, guys. This took a while too. I was watching because I had the book up and I was like, JPM's just kind of waffling. I had my order ready to get out at 01s. It goes to like 05s, then it pops back up. I'm like, JPM, get to the downside. Oh, it gets to the downside. It's like it hurt me and then it drops like 5 pennies. I'm like, okay, JPM. KPM. I have no reason to leave yet here. Like I said, I'm really risking this into 40s, but this is level I liked in the live. I had some trades on this that worked out in the live, so I'm using basically the exact same strategy I used earlier to use here. This is really, that's what the whole thing with the sim is about, is you should be using it as a tool to help build for when you come back there and get those live markets back with boxing gloves. Because honestly, literally, the biggest issue here is where Tesla, I cannot wait to take screenshots and study these charts thoroughly. And that will be like my bedtime reading are these charts, figuring out what went wrong there. So I'm gonna let JPM, I'm gonna let cook, but I wanna get out of NVIDIA before we do our last lesson of the day. JPM, like I said, none of my positions are particularly large ever, and I also think that one, unlike NVIDIA, is one you can kind of let ride. So I have eyes on it. If I need to, I will be like, but right now we're just gonna let that JP Morgan hopefully take me to the bank.
Oh.
But right now, I can't believe it's already 109, Sharif. What is life?
I was getting in an argument with somebody.
Really?
I had a lot of time. I have a lot of time in my hands these days. No, I'm kidding, of course. But I was talking to somebody, a buddy of mine, and we were talking about JPM. And he was saying in passing, he's like, who would short JPM? And it was like kind of like the thing of, this stock doesn't go down, right? Like, I'm talking about like, not an intraday.
Term,
yeah,
that makes
exactly.
sense.
A swing, long term, something like that. And did you know, Adira, like what would you say JPM retraced in 2022? Because we know the market was down in 2022. I know you weren't around. I'm just asking you to guess. I know you were.
The whole year?
Yeah.
The whole year.
The whole year. So what would you say year to date JP Morgan was down in 2022?
I'm going to do 27%.
You keep going.
35%.
Keep going.
49%.
44%. It lost 44% of its value in 1 year. So, it happens, man. There are times, and you were just saying you were buying up a storm in 2022. I'm talking to the Katina man. He was buying it at $80. Right? So, yeah, there are times to have. I just wanted to mention that because we're talking about JPM.
No, that makes sense.
Everyone thinks it goes up and to the right.
I had no idea that was the thing. And we know, usually after earnings, I've noticed JPM will have a little baby tumble. It'll slip, it'll fall. We had JPM fall last time after earnings as well, I remember. So, it's certainly interesting. It's one of those banks that tends to have a bit of a moment there after earnings. But, it underwent a correction, obviously, and we're going to talk about corrective waves.
Bang.
Because I love having those transitions lessons when they're possible. Let's talk about Elliott Wave theory, because it does identify two specific types of wave: impulse waves, which we've talked about pretty extensively throughout the week, which drive the trend, and corrective waves, which have some more consolidative price movement. It's like the trend's taking a little bit of a breath, having some breather room before it continues on its mission to whatever direction it is in, because these can go either direction, right? So we're going to explore the three main types of corrective waves: zigzag waves, which have a little bit of zig and a little bit of zag. We're going to talk about the flats, not the type of wing, just a flat there. And we're also going to talk about triangles. So understanding these patterns here equips you to better interpret market corrections and potential trading opportunities. You have a super chat addressed to you, though, so I'm going to let you read this.
Okay, I gotta read this the way that it's spelled.
Okay, I know you do.
Hi, Sharif. I'm Saudi. I'm a Saudi trader. Hey, Ram. Having a good time here with all of you. The best show. Thank you very much, Habibi, for that. I really appreciate it. 1999 Saudi dirhams. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you for joining Adair and I. Make sure to catch us every day. We're on every day from 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 4:30 p.m. I'm talking about New York time. The Katina Men and the Big Kahunas are on in the morning. They come back later in the day as well. Adair and I come on the midday for 3 hours when things are a little bit more calm. Sorry to interrupt you, Adair.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I wanted you to read that, so that was very much interruption that made sense. I just got over to JPM because it pushed higher there, and now, yeah, like, you know, didn't want to break the bank on that trade, so I had to leave. But we're going to talk about the three amigos of correction. The zigzags, which are sharp reversals. So imagine you've got a sharp three waves that'll be an ABC retracement against the trend. Zigzags are going to be the most common corrective pattern, and they'll be characterized by these sharp price movements. So you want to expect strong price swings in both directions, so the AB and the BC with that corrective wave. You also want to think about an impulse-like structure. So each of the sub-wave, I saw some people making subway jokes in the chat earlier, but sub-wave, each sub-wave, I'm going to enunciate it, A, B, and C within the zigzag can sometimes resemble a miniature impulse wave. So it's like a mini trend within the correction, which is really interesting. It's like a mini sub, like your cookies with your Subway sandwich meal to go with that
Those
sub.
cookies are so good. White macadamia nut. Bang.
That's the only right
Bang?
answer.
Yes, Ram knows what's good.
She's like giving us more bang buttons than I've seen in many moons. But you also want to talk about time frames because the zigzags can appear on any time frame from short-term charts to long-term charts. Now let's talk, here you got the zigzag patterns. Here's gonna be the bullish. So you have your larger waves here, then you've got your A, your B, and your C. Now you've also got your bearish here. This is the A, B, and C as well, these little zigzaggy waves. Need more votes, says Bears versus Bulls. We'll help you with that there, Mr. Bear and Mr. Bull.
Yes,
Get in that
please.
chat, exclamation point, join space, $sign. Maybe it's whatever ticker you want, MSFT, META, NVDA, TSLA, Microsoft, names that aren't Mag 7s. I'm just looking at my side charts.
Yeah.
LPA, GME.
Yeah, guys, every day on the afternoon rundown, we basically do a segment where you decide what we vote, what we talk about. It's usually Neil and Sean who will look at the charts for you. Today we have the one. He is Kenobi. He will be looking at them for you as well. So go have your say every day and solicit your friends to vote because only the top 5 names make it up there. So if you want to see what Neil thinks about a name, you want to see what Obi thinks about a name, or Sean, you're going to have your name selected in the top 5. So solicit your friends, get everybody to vote your way, and we will cover that for you. Thank you, Adair, for reminding me.
Yeah, it's very apropos. In election season, you can campaign your friends to make sure they get votes. So. Yeah, we talk about what the elections do for the market, but let's find out what this election does for Trader TV Live. I'll stop with the puns. But these mini turn subwaves are actually really interesting. As you can see here, we have this larger subwave, and I'm really enunciating here. And then within these waves, we've got little baby waves. So it's really cool. It's like these different mini trends. This would be the one in the bear market. You've got these mini waves within it, and then the bull market as well. So certainly an interesting look. And let's talk about flats. And this, which is going to be more of a sideways consolidation. So think of a sideways movement with limited price action. Apple for months. Flats are going to be corrective pattern with a choppy ABC structure where you have limited price movement with waves. You've got wave A moving in one direction, then wave B will retrace some of the wave A, and then wave C completes the correction with the move, which is often going to be smaller in the opposite direction of wave A. Then you've also have time versus price because flats can take longer to unfold compared to zigzags with less dramatic price swings, which again sounds like a pre-WWDC Apple. And last but not least, we have identification here, which is going to be a horizontal channel. And that horizontal channel is, sorry, I'm just going to pull this up here. Horizontal channel as well is going to be a little bit, what makes it a little bit more difficult to identify flats, right? Because they don't have that zig and zag that we saw with the other ones. It's going to be a horizontal channel or slightly angled price channel with more potential flat patterns. And then you also, here's some examples. So you got a regular flat, bloop, bloop, bloop. So it's going to be less directional than what we saw with the zigzag, right? Then you got an irregular or expanded. So this one you have a slightly higher and then lower. And then running as well, you can see there's a bit more space in between these. So we had a bit more of an incline before we fell, which I think is a really interesting look. Now we have some other flat variations. Here's going to be this is a regular flat. Just going to have these chops and churns here. Pretty consistent. A little rangy, actually. The type of chart that would make me push my chair back. Then we have the expanding flat, which is going to be the most common, where we see we're trying to break out of a pattern here. And the running flat, which is a bit rarer. You're going to have a little bit more space in between those waves on the running flats. So really interesting look there. Even though it's flat, it is still running. Let's talk as well about triangles, which are going to be converging and or diverging price action. I find these ones always, when you see them on charts, a little bit more difficult. So I'm really excited to talk about the version, because we talked about this. It's really hard to know which direction they'll resolve in.
So true.
So we want to talk about that, of course, with regards to Elliott Waves. So imagine you've got this price getting squeezed within a converging or diverging trend line, channel. Triangles are corrective patterns with a 5 waves, so A, B, C, D, E structure, and they're characterized by converging triangles. So you've got the triangle patterns, which can be ascending, where you have a price making a higher low, or descending, where the price makes a lower high. And in both cases, the trend lines defining the triangle converge as the pattern progresses, indicating a potential breakout. You also have diverging triangles, so these are going to be a little bit less common. They're trend lines that move in opposite directions, so upward and downward, which detect a potential continuation of the dominant trend. Then you got breakouts, so not the ones on your face, but the ones in the chart. So these are a bit less. I need to stop talking. Breakout, this is what happens when I have to. I'm so sorry.
Fantastic.
I should not have said that. I said it and was like, why did I say it? And then I said it and I'm like literally blushing. So breakouts are when you have the triangle resolving with a breakout in the direction of the dominant trend, up or down once the price touches the trend lines. And these are, of course, more simplified descriptions, and real-world patterns will exhibit different variations. But here's a converging triangle, right? It pushes lower. You have it push in a bull market, then to go higher. In a bear market, you'll likely see this kind of chop and churn consolidation, and then push lower. So then we also have here trading, what it's like trading with corrective waves. So you might see some, with the zigzags, they might offer some potential short selling opportunities during wave C, so the final move of the zigzag, aiming to capture that retracement against the trend. We also have flats, which can be trickier for trading, but breakouts from flats can sometimes signal a continuation of that trend. Then we also have here triangles. So breakouts from triangles can give you some entry points in the direction of the breakout, up or down. But by mastering corrective waves, by understanding these zigzags, the flats, and the triangles, you could help gain some valuable insight into potential price consolidation zones within a trend. And this knowledge can help you really refine your entry and exit strategies for a more comprehensive trading approach. But what also gives you a more comprehensive trading approach is seeing what other people are looking at. We got this new segment brought to you by Real Trading. Get in the chat there, !join, space, MSFT, GME, IWM, SPY, TQQs, JPM, whatever ticker you want to look at, put that in the chat right now. Again, thank you very much to Real Trading, who bringing you this segment here every single day. I gotta laugh at this CPDB comment, this market breaking out like a teenager's face. Thank you guys for going with the flow. I appreciate it. Just words get said and you gotta laugh.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
Fantastic. I want to go over Clover because I forget who was in the chat, was asking me to do that, so I absolutely will. Now, he said that they got a price target upgrade. I don't see it on my blotter, so I'm not going to vouch for that, but I'm not saying you're incorrect. I'm just saying I don't see it. It's up decently on the day, 5%. It's about $750 million market cap, not bad, done 3 million shares on the day. Here is the look on the daily on CLOV. This is not a bad looking chart, okay? Especially from the lows that we put in mid-spring, so let's say mid-April, 61 pennies. Since those lows, guys, on Clover, we are up 150%. Okay, so that's good. Now we're still talking about a $1.50 stock, but number one, we're up 150% in a few months. Number two, this is a gnarly looking pattern. This is very aggressive because it's respected basically all the moving averages on the dip. This is the daily chart right now, okay? Now, the only issue is we're really in extended territory when it comes to the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. But I'm not seeing RSI price divergence, so it's not like you're yeah, sure. One of us is not, sorry, we're not seeing price action RSI divergence at this level, so it's a good look. Now, we're coming off much, much higher highs, okay? This area over here, these are pandemic pumps. So, let's not get too carried away about where the price action was. Now, what we can look at is this August 2023 pump over here, my man. And that at that time, we triple topped. It looks at this $1 2/3, $1.50 area. So what I'd be looking for is a clear break and take of this particular area crest that will put us, you know, basically at 52-week highs if we get above that level. So good look, good shout out by you there on Clover. I didn't realize Clover had been doing this kind of pattern, but shout out to you, up nice 5% on the day, nothing to write home about, but we'll keep eyes on CLOV. It's up at $1.54 right now, essentially the day high. All right. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I want to let you know that I'm looking at shorting the soft one at 455. Okay? Now, Microsoft is weaseling its way back into yesterday's closing print. It's essentially flat on the day. We closed out yesterday after that huge huadunk in the on the future yesterday, 454.70, okay? That's where we closed out, so let's say 455. We got up there earlier into 455 or 454.70. It's a $450 name, so let's not argue over 30 pennies over here. And it kept rejecting. All right, it did come back down into 452 3/4, an area where it had support earlier and did bounce. Now, if it works its way back up into the 454 high to mid 90s, I will want to try my hand at a short here, all the while keeping a really decent stop. Why do I need to have a tight stop here? Well, all the prints from essentially 10:35 to when we broke down at 11:55, none of them broke 455. So if it breaks 455 now, it's either a specialist breakout, which pushes me out anyway, or the winds of change are coming. In either case, I don't want any of the smoke. So I'm looking to short in the 454 mid to high 90s to get my beak wet there, and we'll see if this range ends up playing out on the day. Now, the other side of that coin that makes me question the trade is this higher low pattern that we're putting in. So we're compressing, or not compressing, we're ascending wedge, right? Where the top stays the same price level. In this case is 455, 454.75, and the lows are incrementally higher. That's an ascending wedge. We finished talking about it right now, and usually it resolves with a break up. If that's the case, then I need to be very cognizant to have a stop that's strategic here, that gives me enough room and doesn't get me stopped out. Here we go. The soft one's coming up into my area as the future is almost at day's high, Katina, man. 20,666 is the day high. We're right there right now. We're at 6.3s. So the future is in a full state of pump right now. So I don't know if I want to stand in front of this shorts on Softy, the number one most valuable company in the world, on when the future's at day high. So I'm going to leave the order where it is. In fact, I'm going to leave it exactly where it is. I'm not going to move it. And if it breaches 455, it breaches 455. I'll have my order, my stop ready. So we're going to give it to 10s, okay? And then we're going to cover if it breaches there. So we're going to go ahead and go like that. And we're going to put that there. Here we go. I'm about to get filled. It did cross my order. It did cross, but the spread is 3 pennies on this one, so I'm not getting the fill quite yet. 91's on the bid, 94's, there we are. We're short. Now we have the stop is already in play. So come what may here, Dara. We're short 94's. Let's see what we get.
And we don't get upset. And also, I hope you print, as you always say to me, I really do hope you print here. So I did a thing. And again, I am in the sim because I got shut down, and that's why I'm really hesitant to take this even in the sim, because I don't know how this is going to go. I am trying to short Tesla 249. I want to explain why I'm still on this hill. By the way, my price on this entry price, 249.30s. Really small position, literally smallest I could get. The reason, though, I wanted to do this is because I was prepared to take a long off the 249 if I thought the range was still happening. And keep in mind, last time you could get 249 to 250 in a lickety split. I sound like an old man. The way you watch that move, that thing was just crazy. It was like bouncing off that 249 level like nobody's business. The highest we could get here, and then when it would come down, so continue, so we'd get to 250, and even if we'd have a retracement, we'd recover it really quickly. Here, we get to 249, like 75s, and we come right back down. I said, Adara, this is a short. You have to try it. You owe it to yourself to try it. This, I would not, you could argue it's a revenge trade and would not be definitely an incorrect statement. But I think one thing I really want to do right now is attempt this trade. Again, in the sim, we could still be bouncing off 30s. That was definitely an area of support earlier. But this is a trade that I do feel good about, that I want to attempt. And I definitely have more confluence for it now than I did when I initially attempted it. I'm learning there's a difference between confidence or confidence and just being stubborn. There's a huge difference.
Yeah, there is.
I was so stubborn today. I had confidence in levels. And I even knew, I was like taking these trades like, what are you doing? That's why I'm coming back. I'm coming back harder. Guess who's back? Back again. You don't have to tell a friend. It's okay. They can just watch Trader TV live. But If you watch the show Tesla and you want to vote, go in the chat right now, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever ticker you're looking at. Maybe it's TSLA, maybe it's MSFT, whatever you want. Get involved there right now. Get in that chat and make it vote and make it happen. And we're also going to talk about our lovely friends here at Benzinga Pro.
Tired of being late to the trade, always playing catch up in the market, missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial today. And I got to let you know something too, that I've been using Benzinga for a while. And the other thing about this is that they are very good with surmising the story. So sometimes you really got to read this whole long paragraph about what's going on. No, Benzinga breaks it down. What's going on, what to know, history, ... So I kind of love that. It makes it super easy. Shout out to them. And they always have so many different features. And their news platform is awesome as well. So one of the best ones out there, no question about it. Shout out to the folks there at Benzinga. So I put my money where my mouth is, and we did get short right there, $494.95, and we did take a nice 20-penny beak wetter all the way down into $494.75. So I'm happy with this trade. It was a quick scalp on MSFT, counter direction, coming back up now. I'm thinking, based on what the future's doing, that we're printing highs. Microsoft's going to break out of this range, whether it's rangy or not. On the day, there's just too much strength. So I didn't want to stand in front of this monster. We scalped 20 quick pennies, and that wham, bam, thank you, Microsoft. Top VOIP, QuantumScape, high of day and going. Please look, you don't got to ask me twice. There it is, 855. HOD on QS, QuantumScape. It keeps on going, guys. This bad boy is in play today. Now, how do you weasel your way in? I got to tell you, the way that I'd be looking to get in is a retracement on the 10 exponential on the 5. The 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart, that is the green line you will see depicted on all my black charts. They're always green. They're never going to be different on one chart or the other. As you can see, the reason I'm suggesting to you that a decent retracement would be into the 10 exponential, you can see the price action. It has this magnetic effect. It wants to come into the 10 exponential, then bounces right back up. It's at it right now. Here it is, 835. The 10 exponential is at 833. It just glanced it. Let's see if it bounces off here. Now, if it doesn't, where does it? Now look where it did last time. When it did break the 10 exponential at 1115, it found a footing at the volume weighted average price. Now, why is VWAP important? Well, VWAP is used by traders. It's also used by institutional investors. So if I had a trader, let's just say I'm Goldman, okay? And then I got a trader on the floor. I got a few traders on the floor, and I say, look, the buying committee has assessed that the scientific research behind QuantumScape is valid. We want to build a position. Get me, I don't know, 100,000 shares of QuantumScape by the end of the week. Well, how do they know if their trader did a good or bad job? They adjudge them based upon the average price relative to the volume weighted average price of the day. So if the trader's average, let's just say on QuantumScape today, was $8 and VWAP closes at 790, well, you know, they're maybe getting an F or whatever, a D plus that day, or a C minus, whatever, right? So that's why it's important, because institutions as well as intraday traders are all using, and there's probably other people as well for other reasons that I'm not aware of. So that's why VWAP is important. And that's why I would say to you, you know, if it really breaks down below all the moving averages, see what it's doing at VWAP. If VWAP is not being respected, then I personally wouldn't really use these indicators. I use support and resistance if that was in play. So right now, it's finding support at the 10 exponential at 833. It's printing 838. Let's see if it can weasel its way back up near highs at 855. So that's my little look there. Mark the Realtor, 199 super chat. Palantir, PLTR. Did Macy buy this too? Who's he talking about? Macy Gillen?
I don't. I mean, I wish it was Macy Gilliam. I don't think it's Macy Gilliam.
Yeah.
Recently, that girl's younger than me. Oh my gosh! Shout out to Macy Gilliam with the Morning Brew. I'm like,
yeah, she's pretty
living
good.
her best life over there. But yeah, I do not know who
not
Macy is. But I mean, Palantir is definitely a good look.
The Katina Man is now short NVDA, guys. So keep your eye out on the Katina Man's trade. He's taking that bad boy short. He's looking to take high a day rejection. Shout out to the Katina Man.
Yeah, I'll take a look at this Palantir here. This Tesla is kind of just chilling below the 90 MA. I did add a bit. Again, I am in the sim. Oh.
6.
I mean, to be fair, we have some nice pushback levels, Sharif.
Yeah, we do.
We've got these lower highs, lower lows. Look at that beautiful, gorgeous, bouncing VWAP. Oh, this is beautiful. Then we get here, and we also bounce to this 2770s. Why is that interesting? Look at the chop and trend we had earlier. The chair was asking to be pushed back at this. Then we also have this area here too where we bounce at 2790s, which was also a little bit of resistance earlier. The confluence is off the charts. Oh, literally off the charts because we're looking at charts.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I need to calm down. I was pretty happy. Tesla, hi, how you doing? This one's still below the 90 MA. I should be adding more aggressively, but I am in the sim. That's not the point. I really want to be taking trades that still make sense. I also want to see a way, and that's why I already have a beak wetter set to get out at 249s because I do want to get some stuff out. Some people are, just in case anyone doesn't know the beak wetter, so it's taking profit. It's dipping your little nose in the beak and then your nose in the bucket of profits and getting involved. That's what the beak wetters are.
Yep.
I would like to wet my beak at this 249 area, but Tesla probably doesn't want to give me that smoke. I have no reason to leave though. There's nothing in the book giving me a sense that we're really trying to go higher, except for these 30s bounces. But again, even those aren't aggressive enough to get me out for now. I think I am being a bit stubborn, so I want to be aware of that. But there is, like, let's put it this way: when I had that long and then, or when I had that short, when I was live off the 249, I had the heebies the whole time. I do not have the heebie-jeebies here. I'm ready to let this thing go. Okay, let's talk as well about Rivian for Gaurav Sanchev. Appreciate the claps, thank you. Saying Rivian is at his Volkswagen news highs. Good luck, good look here. Yeah, great look here. Bounce, bounce, bounce. 3 bounces off VWAP, pushing higher. I know you mentioned as well a couple days ago, Gaurav, we did have that nice recovery there. Yeah, I mean, Rivian.
Yeah, I was just telling the Katina Man, he just wet his beak on some profits too on that personal account. Yeah, so
it's a really good look. Also, take a look at NVIDIA here. Vulcan saying NVIDIA is breaking, guys. Yeah, NVIDIA, when it had that break of 130.50, which was that area of resistance which led me to get out of that long here earlier in the sim, that was a massive breakout. I tried to get involved in NVIDIA. It's like, no. So NVIDIA really does want to continue this push higher here. I'd love to see what we do with this 131 area. That's where you were shorting from earlier, Sean, if I'm correct, right? The 131? Oh, he just re-shorted it. Okay, this NVIDIA 131, certainly an interesting look. We'll have to see if it's a double top. But man, the markets do not want to quit. Every time it seems like they're quitting, they're saying, no, I'm not retiring. I got another few days in me. The bull market is not over. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm feeling like more wings, but yeah, this has been such a fun day. Look at these markets. You know what? Once I can get my ad, I want to add more to this Tesla. Once I get my part filled, I want to add more to this Tesla because I think we're going to have that breakdown. How are you doing?
Ram just disclosed to me what her what's happening?
It's breaking news.
Stock earning, I like it. What her stock that she invested in?
Can I guess?
Yes, go ahead.
Is it a stock that is kind of random?
You didn't ask for hints. You just said, can I guess? Do you want hints?
I'll take one hint.
Okay. It has green in its logo.
Is it a mega cap?
You said one hint, woman.
Okay,
that's 2.
then it is a mega cap.
Yes.
Is it? It's not. Is it NVIDIA?
Yes.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
so that's a great ad, Ram. I'm gonna give you that. But let me tell you, I would not have guessed Ram invested in NVIDIA. So when I did my analysis, Rivian. Oh my bad.
Because they don't have green in their logo.
Yeah. No, I thought you were. My bad. Okay. Still, either way. My bad, yeah. So it's Rivian, it's not NVIDIA, my bad there. So for all the Ram followers who want the Ram ETF, she is now...
Can it be RAM? Can the ticker be RAM for the Ram ETF?
Yeah. The Ram ETF. So Ram, I was going to say that you're likely to invest in a stock that you find personally attractive. So I was thinking possibly PDD for Temu or something like Amazon related. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I was trying to theorize here. I didn't think that you were going to punch in Rivian, but that's cool. That's cool because I know you like trucks. So that does make sense.
She
there.
does like trucks.
Yeah, she does like.
Well,
she's all
she's
about
named
the pickup
Ram,
leg.
so it makes sense too,
Well, yeah,
right?
but-
Dodge Jeep Ram.
Do you have a Ram though? Is your
But
truck?
it's a truck.
Is your truck a Ram? No, right? She wants a TRX. Oh, that's it, right? I mean, it's not a big of a deal at all, Ram. It's not like it's a $150,000 car or anything like that. But
She's got big dreams, Sharif. That's why she needs that Rivian. She's got big dreams.
yeah, well, the Rivian is right up there too.
Yeah, she's good. She's good there. With that
Guys, the future's pumping up here big. Big moves up here. We're about 20,700. We're really close. We're 9 points off that. Amazon just printed high a day. Microsoft just printed high a day. We're at high a day right now for NVIDIA, but you can tell it's encountering a lot of resistance at 131. I would submit to you that it's not NVIDIA lifting up the market right now. It's something to do with Amazon. Amazon is pumping here, so it's breaking out through the range. We have not been above this IB high on DAZN all day long. Here it comes. It looks like 196 is incoming here. Now, let's see what the levels are from yesterday. Looks like we had some interaction at this 196 level from yesterday. In fact, this is an area where we double bottomed and then finally broke through at around 11 o'clock. So I'll be looking at 196er to see whether or not we break through that area as well. We did pump up there for whatever reason after the bell right into 196 and rejected. We're 6 pennies off that right now. 5. Now it keeps making new high day as I talk. Here on AMZN, good recovery for the DAZN, up now 0.5%. The dead one as well, AAPL, on the way up. It's above 232. We're printing 16s. The high of the day is 40, Katina, man. And it's moving up here on AAPL. Held the 50 like a dang glove. Every single wick and close above the 50 exponential on the 5, which is the red line on my chart, held up on AAPL. So whatever algo was printing this today was using the 50 as opposed to some other, or at least that's what I glean. So good strength today from AAPL, 2%. It's almost recovered everything that it lost yesterday. Look at this. We're at 230, 232 and a third. From yesterday, we're almost back to exactly the same level we were at yesterday on AAPL. So it looks like investors buying this up. We'll see. There goes 196 on AMZN and 196.05, but there is a little bit of resistance right now, as we kind of said there might be at 196 level owing to the price action from yesterday. So interesting look here on the future. We're not at high a day on goggles, but it looks like it's weaseling its way closer to high a day. And I got to tell you, Tesla has just been dead since it moved up aggressively like that. And really, you know, it had a little bit chop and churn over here, but the deadness or the lack of action really started at 12. So noon hour. So we've been doing this for like an hour and 40 minutes right now on Tesla. The pops were all sold off through 251. Let's flip to some of the small cap gappers, see what's out and about. Oh, LPA now breaking down below the volume weighted average price. LPA, giving up the ghost. There does seem to be a buyer for whatever reason at 17. 2 bottoming tail candles into 17. This one right now trying to defend the 17 level on LPA. Down big off the top there. So from top to bottom, we've already dropped 30% there from top to bottom on LPA, so keep your eye on that one. QuantumScape continues to go, and it continues to bounce off the 10 exponential. Beautiful look there on QuantumScape. I hope whoever asked me printed on that 10 retracement that I was suggesting, because it absolutely held, and then it gave you 35 to 63. So you got 30 pennies on an $8 name, at least from top to bottom. Who gets top to bottom, though? Nary does someone get one, but we'll keep eyes on that. Also, LCID curling up a little bit here. Here we go. So this one defends 4, most notably. That's what I wanted to see on LCID. It does defend 4. 405 was kind of the bottom there where VWAP was, but at times we did breach it. And here we go, 420. Shout out to all my 420 heads out there. It's almost a weekend. But yeah, there you go, 432 HOD. Now with 23% in the bag here on LCID, Adara. Lady Lover, LL Cool J staying above VWAP and defending $1. So I'm going to leave LL here on my side chart for Monday, because if this holds up a buck, there could be a different play to be had as $1 support on Monday. assuming it maintains the price level. Up 40% today, nothing to sneeze at there. Let's flip back quickly to tech over here. Yeah, man, things are squeezing. Amazon is now squeezing. Something's afoot here with Amazon. I got to look here to make sure nothing's going on. What is this? AWS. Okay, so I'm getting a bunch of stuff here. I'm going to tell you, Adara, is any of this new? AWS Summit highlight practical case generative AI. Baird says.
I think it's just an analyst.
Yeah, that's probably
We have a whole bunch of super chats just coming in here.
Okay,
too, though.
1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
Prime Day could benefit rivals. Okay, I don't know what the news
Prime
is.
Day is next week.
Next week, thank you. So yeah, maybe moving into Prime Day. All right, let's look at the super chats over here. Michelle Bear, Sharif. Remember when I bought DDS last fall just under $300 because of a slow short squeeze? Sold it today at $470 and now spent in GME shares. Shout out to Michel Hebert, one of the OGs there in the chat. Loves the meme names, loves his AMC and GME. Make sure you are looking at what Michel Hebert is saying in the chat when these memes are moving. He's excellent. He does options as well. Shout out to him. Let's move down over here. John H. $20 super chat. Shout out to Big John H. Closed my Intel calls 110% upside and having a great day with Apple and Micron. Wouldn't be able to have the winners without the amazing lessons. Thank you, Sharif and Adara and the rest of the great Trader TV team. Believe me, John, I speak for everybody on this stage when I say we really do appreciate it, and there would be no this over here without the viewers.
No, there wouldn't. We also had another super chat, too, from Mark the Realtor, 305, shout out to Miami, and the song 305 in My City by Drake from Nothing Was the Same, saying Starbucks rumor buyback news. I know there was that. I don't know about the buyback. This was announced earlier. I'm going to look this up. But I know we did have with Starbucks, there was a rumor that Starboard was getting involved. The thing is, though, too, I basically, this came up as a headline like, oh, traders are circulating a rumor that there's some involvement here from Starboard. I didn't actually even see any traders circulating that rumor. So I went on social media, there was no interest in Starbucks. So that was kind of a confusing one to me. But we've heard a little bit of potential talk there of Starbucks potentially with that activist investment for a while now. So that's certainly an ongoing kind of rumor here. Starbucks here, I know they've had kind of buybacks ongoing here. I'm trying to find any news here on these buybacks because we did initially have Howard Schultz suspending them back in April 2022. But yeah, I mean, this Starbucks, I have to say, this is a great look. We had this pop here into 74.15. Then we bounce off 74.15. Now we get 1, 2, 3 bounces off 74.15. And then we curl higher. Nice little, I don't want to say cup and handles, definitely a rounded bottom though here for sure. Then we have this nice bounce on the 90 MA here on a wick basis off 74.45. Let's keep flying. Then we get to this 74.78 chop and churn. I think this is trying to push higher. I would say if we break below the 74.60, because we had that strong wick of support here, there things could be a little bit dicey, but that's certainly something to keep an eye on. Let's see what we do here on this SBUX. This Starbucks certainly a nice rounded look. Let's take a look at the daily chart because, Sean and I brought you the earnings on the market recap, and Starbucks is coming to a huge level on the daily chart. I just saw the wings and I was like, ooh, wings. But Starbucks came into a huge level on the daily chart. We had that earnings quadunk that Sean and I gave you in the market recap. Then it comes and bounced here, 72.30. We have the opposite of our roundy bottom. We have a frowny face on the chart. We had investors not too happy with Starbucks there. Then we come back and look where we bounce. We bounce all 72s. Now Starbucks is coming into a pivotal level. Will it reject this 90 MA? Because that was also a level previously earlier of resistance and support. Do I want to give the Starbucks daily chart a second pushback? Yeah, I do. This is wild. If we close above that 75, I think this could be a change in the tides for Starbucks. If not, this rejection could be pretty bad because breaking below that double bottom is not something I would want to see. But we only have 5 more minutes to vote. This part of this show is brought to you by Real Trading, this segment. So get involved in there, get in that chat, ! Join space, $, whatever ticker you want to look at.
And Adara, we have to shout out the fact that Real Trading always gives us the best price for shorts and makes available names that wouldn't regularly be available for short. And I do the comparison every time to see what I can short on my personal platform versus what Real Trader can give me. And it's night and day. It's night and day. Literally anything you want, and at very reasonable price. Sometimes the Catino man jokes with me. He's like, no, it's too expensive. It cost 60th of a penny and stuff like that. That's the kind of prices we're getting for these shorts at Real Trading. So definitely, give them a look if you're interested. Guys, we are flying, and I don't know what's happening here. We just breached 20,700. We're well off the bottom, guys. If you thought yesterday we had a big notional move, well, today 20,355 is the low. 20,724 is the high, and I bet you're probably going to see higher. So we had 600 from the top to the bottom yesterday of range. Today we've already got 400, and we still have several more hours of trading. So this is the look right now. We've retraced, I'd say, 2/3 of the down move that we had yesterday. So we'll see if we can continue to move up. 1 1/3 right now in the green is the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ got shellacked yesterday because of the rotation out of the Mag 7 and the chips. The S&P was able to close down less than 1%. The NASDAQ was not. And there it goes. It is in a full state of pump. And I want to tell you guys, the Catino Man's long Amazon, because we don't know what's going on with the Zon right now, but it's absolutely pumping up, breaking through these levels. Guys, we were talking about Amazon not that long ago, 194. Now it's breaking through 196.5. We're on the precipice of doing that. Apple, high a day, baby. 232.52, and that breaches the previous area crest that we put in at 10 past 11. Another move as well past the resistance 1 level on pivots. Keep your eye on AAPL. It is moving up aggressively over here. Everything really is moving, all right? It just ain't Apple. Microsoft is about to breach 456. Goggles is right back into that 187 area. We're 15 pennies away from that. That's printing high a day as well. Meta, we're trying to break through 5. Yeah, it's Meta. Spreada is not doing its thing right now. So yeah, lots of strength finally weaseling its way into the Mag 7 names, and now feels like it's going to be an aggressive close to the green side in the afternoon. Obviously, I have no idea what happens, just an inclination to dare.
Yeah, I was heard about it. Volcan, I'm not seeing any news on Amazon. I just went on Twitter, almost said the Twitter, and like there's at least 20 tweets for this in the last minute. Amazon, this is unheard of the amount of attention we're getting. I just
what's going on?
I'm not seeing any news. It's just people tweeting about it. Like 17 seconds ago, 36 seconds ago, 39 seconds ago, 42 seconds ago, 43, 45, 48. The point I'm trying to make is this is the type of interest we usually see with the GME pump.
Right.
So or a small cap. Like there's just seems like there's a lot of social media attention on this AMZN. So sorry, Volcan, not seeing any news on this, but also it's kind of mirroring what we're doing with the market. We just generally seem like we're pushing higher here, unless you're Tesla, but we'll get to that in a moment. Thank you so much to Vin for gifting 5 Trader TV Live memberships. Much appreciated. Thank you so much, Vin. You are the Vin Diesel of our group here. We're all stronger like Vin Diesel through our viewers in our community, and I'll stop making Vin Diesel comparisons, but shout out to you. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, but if you look at these TQs, like that
7.
That VWAP bounce here was incredible. We had that area of rejection here, 81 on the TQs. Then we bounced there beautifully, up like $3. It's a wild look. Let's also, though, look at Amazon for comparison, because I honestly think it looks pretty similar to the Qs. It just looks like we generally have that strength here in the market. I am trying to find news there. Sorry, Volcan. All I'm seeing is this intense social media interest. Another tweet 16 seconds ago. Okay, guys, calm down with the Amazon. But yeah, that's why I went on Twitter to see if it was just general interest. That is what I think it is. But Tesla, I did get back in the short here because we were definitely making these lower highs here and lower lows on the book. We broke below 30s, which was a wall, so I got involved. 249.20s. Again, I'll get out if I see change in the tide, if I see something distinctly different. Like I said, I am in the sim. Obviously, you're never proud when you get shut down, especially when you start up in the day. But you know what that gives me? Motivation for next week.
Good.
To go even harder. Because I know what I did wrong, and you just got to work on that, fix that, and keep coming. Tesla decided to pop. So thanks, Tesla, question mark. How are you doing over here?
Good. Keeping an eye. I saw people talking about Donald John Trump, DJT, having itself a day, 5 1/3. Nothing to sneeze at. There's no headline here other than we don't talk politics, but there were a couple of gaffes yesterday in the Biden press conference, and that seems to be the precipice for this move up, at least according to the story here from Benzinga. Shout out to them, one of our sponsors. But yeah, let's look at Donald John Trump over here. DJT is a stock I'm talking about. In case you guys are newer to the show, that's kind of what I call it, just as a joke, right? So let's put in the ticker real quick there. DJT, so this one's a little zig, a little zag. We're still definitely within the week's range, right? We still haven't broken up through that 31.5. For whatever reason, 31.5 has been a level that's been coming in over and over. 31.3 to 31.5 here on DJT. We bought him out there the other day at 28.5, and now we're right back up there. Decent volume for it on the day. And, there have been periods of bamboozlement. This one over here, I'm specifically looking at 1210, where it breaches everything. The 10, the 20, VWAP goes down to the 50. But for the majority of the day, Donald John Trump has retraced into the 10 exponential on the 5. So if you're looking to get some sort of retracement on there, you put your order at the 10 exponential. And if you put your stop below the 20, you were okay, because that didn't breach. Go.
I think Ramin has said something about the Amazon story potentially. Apparently there's a Rufus AI.
Yeah, so I did see that, Adara, and I thought that it was an older story, so I did see that. I'll show it to you guys right here. Here it is. Let me just load it up.
It could be a delayed reaction, or it could not even be this. That's the hard thing with the markets. You never know why they're moving.
Well, that's the thing, right? Here,
4 hours ago, says
I had it like 1 second ago. I know, but it just came in. I'll pull it up in a second. But yeah, I did see that. It was basically an AI assistant that helps you with shopping and makes suggestions. Something we knew that they were going to do anyway, because we knew that. How's Amazon going to use AI, right? Well, there's a traditional way of the large language model. That's not what they're known for. They're known for shopping, obviously, and a lot of other things, but that was my understanding. If I get that story, here it is. I don't know where it is, man. I just literally just had it, and I was reading it a second ago, and now I don't know where the hell it went. There it is, finally. All right, so let me just pull this up. Okay, so for whatever reason, it's gone. Okay, so I'll pull that up in a second. Now, with respect to the overall market, guys, great move up here. Really nothing to talk about other than another breach of the high day on goggles. So where do we find resistance here on? Well, we're going to have, if we don't reject here at the 187 level, there's a big gap to where we basically opened up yesterday at 190. So a $3 gap. Say that again, Ob? Melting right back up, says Ob. I got to tell you, I mean, I had heard this story before about rotation. I don't know if you remember this story about rotation from the beginning of the year when the Russell started doing very well. It was outperforming the NQ, outperforming the ES, and everybody started talking about, money's leaving the Mag 7. It's coming into a rotation. I heard this story before, so when I heard it again yesterday, I just had my suspicious hat on a little bit. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, we get one measly green day and then we continue to trend back down. I have no idea. Anyway, goggles at 187 right now. Everything essentially at high day except for MetaDare.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the SPY. And yeah, I'm certainly not afraid of spiders. Look at this chart. Like, we crawl to the upside here, creeping up. We get to that 561.70 area. It looks like we might be curling. We take this move down, but look where we bounce. It's off VWAP, and it's just above that other previous area of chop and churn around 560. Then we have more chop and churn, and then we pause again. But look where we pause. We pause at I did a dramatic one that time. We pause at 561.70s. And then we push even higher. So that 561.70, great look. Looks like you're trying to take a little bit of a breath here on the SPY. But let's see if we were able to push even higher. I mean, the Qs, what is there to say? Let's pull up the Qs. Yeah, I mean, if you have Qs, they have answers there. And that answer is we will just go higher. I can't believe this. Yesterday we had a 2% down day. Qs are like, yeah, we're going to give you like an almost 2% up day now. I'm like, okay, literally erasing that whole move from yesterday. This is also really similar though to the SPY. Because look, we get that VWAP bounce much like the SPY. We get this chop and churn fall much like the SPY.
Oh, fantastic.
The SPY and the Qs are mirroring each other in a way we don't often see. So this has really been a fascinating day to trade. Fortunately, I got rinsed, but I hope you all that was not the button I wanted. I did get a little bit rinsed today, but I hope you guys all made profit. I'm excited to come back to these here markets and also Amazon. Yeah,
I just want to, this is what Ram was talking about. Amazon releases Hound as AI-powered shopping assistant goes live across the U.S. Here are the deets. Has released its generative artificial intelligence powered shopping assistant dubbed Rufus to all U.S. consumers using the Amazon shopping app, the company announced on Friday. So this is a new one, Ram. Thank you for that. But we did know about this Rufus before. Rufus assists customers through all phases of their shopping experience as it has incorporated an understanding of product details and customer reviews. I like that. It can be accessed through the Rufus icon on the bottom page of the shopping app. First introduced in February, I knew it, in beta to a small subset of customers. It is now available throughout the U.S. Boo. After the company received positive feedback from users. Roofers can provide shopping recommendations. Okay, so you guys get it. I'm not going to keep reading this. Now it looks like as if it was beta. That's why we had heard about it, and now is being released. So the market likes what they're seeing on that because Amazon, HOD, baby, after having a dead boy day and moving really to the high side here. So I want to see what Amazon does during power hour because it's finding resistance at pivot points. So it opened below pivot points, and if you recall that week that we did on pivot points, if you open below pivot point, you should have a bearish outtake unless proven otherwise. If you open above, it's a bullish outtake. Today, we certainly way open below because that was the closing print, and now we're using that pivot point as a level of resistance. Ram, multiple topping tail candles into that 196.50 that we can't breach, but we're still well extended off the 10 on the 5, still holding that 196 level. And if I had to guess, this 195.80 could be an interesting area of support, Adara. We'll have to wait and see what Amazon does on power hour and what it does on Monday. But yeah, I'm going to send it to you now as I will weasel my way up into the green screen.
Good luck with the weaseling. Yeah, thank you so much to Sharif. Always so happy to share this desk here.
Appreciate you.
With the man in the purple, or the man in the mauve, as he was saying. Also, yeah, so Richard V. Sharif did not boo the USA. He booed that it's not in Canada. That was more what the boo was. Because we were talking about this earlier as well. He was a little displeased as punch that Apple is only now, just now having its Vision Pro in Canada. So yes, it's more, I think, I would wager, if I get to psychology a bit, I think it might be that Sharif was also upset we didn't get the Vision Pro. And now he's also seeing this story here. Amazon gets, Rufus is in the US first. So I think he's just more hurt for Canada. I'll stop psychoanalyzing now. But yeah, I mean, Q's taking a little bit of a dip here. We were at 499.59s. Now we are at 498. So, or sorry, 499. So we dropped about 60 pennies there on the Qs. Quite the steep drop here. We're going to have to see if the market can keep this movement. Brad Gober was shouting out Tesla, and Tesla did indeed nestle its head here above that 250 range top before coming lower. This has been so wild, this TSLA. I did not play this appropriately. This is definitely, like I said, screenshots, taking a look at this stock, like, you know, this will be my bedtime reading, being like, what did I do? What should I have done? How can I learn? Because I think the only way to get better in these markets and get better at trading is through learning. So I think that's what's really important. Yeah, Tammy KB, yeah, you're definitely right there. Sharif was not booing the US. He was booing on behalf of Canada. He was like, Canada, why can't we get stuff too? So good times there. But yeah, let's go Amazon dump it, says SU. So, oh, wow, Amazon did in fact dump it. We had them move down in the Qs. Amazon moving down. We're going to have a really exciting show there with Shonfidence and Obi-Wanfidence in a second there. But we will see you guys on Monday. Hope you guys had a great week with Elliott Waves. But not right this second. We're not going to wave goodbye to you just yet. Yeah, I think this market's been really exciting. We had earnings season kickoff with bank earnings, and what a way to kick off earnings season with these markets going haywire. But right now, we are going to go over to the big desk and green screen. See you guys on Monday. Same bad time, same bad channel. Let's check out Sharif.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Obi, Sean, they're locked, they're loaded, they're ready to take the names that you've selected on the midday show. Make sure to get in your vote every day on how to trade between 11 and 2 with Adara and I so we can cover it on the afternoon rundown. Yeah, you can see the future. What a recovery off the 2+% we lost on the NASDAQ yesterday. Definitely not the same kind of weakness on the ES yesterday, but the NASDAQ really did get hit as a result of the rotation out of the Mag 7 and out of the chips. You wouldn't know it though if you saw it today. All those sectors right back up, and they're all really pretty much at day's high right now. You can see here the Qs really trying to break through that 500. We did break through it yesterday, but on the retracement, it is acting as resistance. But Tesla, the #1 name as selected by you guys, and I'm not surprised there. Big down day today, trying to recover a little bit right now. What's the look, guys?
Back, everybody. This market is pretty wild. Even as we speak right now, we just got to pull back into the 50-period moving average. Thanks, Sharif. Thanks, Adara. Good show there. Thanks for the wings. We had some great wings there this afternoon as well. So, yeah, lots of fun happening.